Until recently, NASCAR's Busch Grand National Series was viewed as strictly a path to big league Winston Cup competition, a training ground, if you will. Over the past several years, the BGN has taken on its own identity. Bright young drivers creating their own fan followings, ensnaring their own sponsors, TV coverage, and press headlines. So, more than ever, Winston Cup superstars like Earnhardt, Elliott, Burton, Waldrop, and Gant would come a-calling with their own V6 automobiles when the series runs in companion with Winston Cup on superspeedways. Of course, with their resources and experience, they had first dominated and intimidated the up-and-comers. No more. Now, places like Rockingham, North Carolina, twice annually witness competitions where the established stars of NASCAR meet the men who want their jobs. TNN Motorsports proudly presents live NASCAR Busch Grand National Racing, the Goodwrench 200. This man, defending Winston Cup champion Dale Earnhardt, is one of the luminaries that frequents what has become one very prestigious series. But today, he'll be led to the green flag by four hungry young gentlemen. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Evans. Now, Earnhardt and his fellow General Motors cohorts, they have had their way with this series. But today, they're getting a bit of a fright from Ford, because on the Busch pole in a Ford Thunderbird is a man too young to even buy a Busch. He's only 20. Jeff Gordon from Indiana, congratulations, your first ever super speedway pole.
Thank you. I tell you, it's great. We're really thrilled to be here, and this is a really big pole for us and Ford and Baby Ruth.
Now, is it power? Is it handling? What?
I think our power is definitely better than what we had last year. We got one of the only in-house Busch teams that have our own engine equipment and do our own motors, so I think that has a little bit to do with it, but we're handling pretty well also.
Watch out for this wind. It's blustery.
Yeah, I tell you, the wind has really picked up, and I don't see it to be too big a factor, but it can be a little bit of a factor, and I think we'll be all right.
Okay, have a good time, Jeff. All right, starting on the outside of Jeff Gordon will be Robert Presley. That's the 59 Oldsmobile. Presley won one short track event last year at Orange County Speedway, but at the end of the season, he finished as strongly as any car on the circuit. Back in row number 2 is my buddy Glenn Jarrett.
Well, you're looking at Jeff Burton. He starts on the grid right behind Robert Presley. Jeff starting in 4th position in the number 8 TIC Financial Systems Oldsmobile. Jeff also was a one-time winner on the circuit last year. This is his first year as full-time driver for this car. It was formerly driven by David Green. Starting on the inside of row number 2 is the defending Busch Series champion, Bobby Labonte, driver of the Slim Jim Penrose Sausage number 44 Oldsmobile. Bobby, this racetrack is to your liking. You run awfully well here last year. You had a chance to win both races, but something happened late in the race. You kind of feel like this place owes you one?
Well, you know, Glenn, we're really happy to be here. You know, it's been a good racetrack for us, and yeah, we've run good here all the times we've been here, and I tell you, we're looking forward for a good day here at Rockingham and try to keep this Slim Jim Chevrolet up front.
Well, Lady Luck hasn't been real kind to you here. Also, now you've got that added pressure of being the Busch Series defending champion. Do you feel like everybody's taking some shots at you?
Well, no more than usual. I tell you, this is a tough division out here, and one person I don't have to worry about today is Dale Jarrett, because he's one that I always have to worry about here. So, you know, it's just going to be a good day. I think we're going to see a good, clean race today.
Keep your eyes on this guy. He's always a threat here. Steve Evans?
No one enjoys Busch Grand National Racing more than the man who will be calling this race for you. Up in his nice, cozy, warm, wind-free booth, here's Mike Joy.
Thank you, Steve, and hello, everyone. It's a beautiful but brisk day for racing in the Carolinas. Temperatures will be up in the 60s, very sunny skies, and a stiff wind blowing from turn 1 across the racetrack to turn number 3. How big has Busch Grand National Racing gotten? Well, it's the number 3 racing series in America. It outdraws everything except Winston Cup and IndyCar racing. More spectators than drag racing, than Camel GT, than Trans Am, or any other form of racing in this country. That's how big it's become. And what kind of parity have we achieved between the drivers and the teams that frequent this series and those that frequent the Winston Cup and come in here on occasion and try to steal some of the upfront money? Well, let's find out with our 2 experts that'll help me call this race. Let's go first with the man with 2 victories here, Neil Bonnet.
It hasn't been but just a few years ago that when we'd come to one of these Busch races like this, the Winston Cup guys would have a big advantage. The biggest advantage was in parts and pieces that weren't available for the Busch guys. Those days are over. The Busch guys have the ability to get anything that the Winston Cup guys have. You can look at this team right here that belongs to Kenny Wallace. He has the same stuff the Winston Cup guys have. He's got a race car on the track, a nice spare sitting in the roof. All he needs is a little bit of luck to win this race. Let's go to Buddy Baker.
Thanks, Neil. You know, the Busch Grand National drivers can buy the best cars, they can buy the best engines, they can do everything that needs to be done to have the best crews and everything else. But one thing you can bet on, when the race starts, the Winston Cup drivers all band together and race together, do each other a lot of favors in the race, so give and take thing. But when the Busch Grand National drivers get in there, oh boy, they just don't have the faith in them that they do in the Winston Cup drivers, the guys that they run with every week. So, you know, if a Winston Cup driver gets into a little deal, all you hear is, well, that's just racing. But let a Busch Grand National driver create this situation, and all you hear is inexperience and everything else. I don't buy that. They're great race car drivers. You're going to see a good race today. Mike?
Well, Buddy, Robert Presley and Ward Burton both finished in the lead draft at Daytona. We'll see if that trend continues here at Rockingham today. TNN, who this year brings you more Busch Grand National racing than all other networks combined, are proud to present the Goodwrench 200. Brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. And by Miller Genuine Draft, cold filtered for real draft taste. So get out of the old, get into the cold. Kenny Wallace, last year's Busch season runner-up. 3 weeks ago didn't have a ride. A week ago didn't even have a shot. But right now he's poised to run at Rockingham and again challenge for the championship. We'll be back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway right after these messages.
Welcome back to Rockingham, North Carolina, and our coverage on TNN of the Goodwrench 200. 36 drivers trying to get comfortable in these Busch Grand National cars. I'm back in the 17th starting position with the driver of the 25 car, Jimmy Hensley. Jimmy, I know you're hurting after the Daytona accident. You've got a standby driver.
Yeah, Bowie Shep is standing by for me. You know, we do have a broken foot, a couple of ribs cracked, and my health's not, 100% right now, and I feel he'd do a better job in the car than I will today, so he's going to stand by for me.
A wise choice. Glenn Jarrett, where are you?
Well, Steve, I'm way in the back of the pack back here at the very end of the field in 36th starting position with a guy who normally starts way up toward the front. Bill Elliott, you didn't get to qualify yesterday. You still got some problems. What's going on?
Well, we had an engine blow up qualifying, and we had to borrow one from Jeff Gordon with a one car, and we just threw it in there this morning. And we got the starter doesn't even work. It's the fresh. We're going to have to get a tow truck to push us off here on the line.
Looks like you're in for a fun day.
It's going to be a long day.
Okay, Bill Elliott got a long way to go to get back to the front. Steve Evans?
Well, he better be awesome, Bill, starting clear back there. He's got a hard day ahead of him, as he said himself. Right now, let's check in with Mike Joy, who has this week's Haviland update. Michael?
The Busch Grand National season started out with a bang at Daytona, several of them in fact, but Dale Earnhardt was able to hold off Ernie Irvin and Ward Burton to win the Goodies 300 and capture his 5th win in the event. Last Sunday, Mother Nature won at Hickory, North Carolina. It's been rained out. To April 18th, TNN will be there to cover all the action. Drivers reacted to the postponement.
Well, I tell you, you kind of get used to anytime you're dealing with outdoor stuff, you got the weather to work with. But I tell you, the car was really working super good. We come home, measured everything, and hopefully when we go back on the 18th of April, we can have everything dialed back in.
We kind of got caught up now that we had a week that we didn't have to race, though. So in a way, we wanted to get it over with because that's one of my favorite tracks, I guess you might say. I've run pretty good there. So, it's a deal where we just got to go back and hope that we didn't lose what we qualified and run good there.
The point standings look just like the Goodies 300 finish, with Earnhardt at the top and series contenders Ward Burton and Robert Presley in 3rd and 5th place.
And in 10th place in the Busch Series points, by virtue of his fine finish at Daytona, is Steve Grissom. Last week you were on the pole, Steve. You're way back here in 22nd position this week. How does it feel to go from that far up to this far back?
Well, I'll tell you, Glenn, that just shows you the competition on this Busch Series. 1 week you can be on top of the hill, next week you're sitting here kind of struggling. But the car seems to be working pretty good on used tires, and that's pretty important here at Rockingham.
Well, you seem to like this style racetrack. You've run awfully well here in the past. What's it going to take today to bring this thing home in victory lane?
Well, basically to start with, to stay out of all trouble, keep everything going in the right direction. But The track does get awful slick here at Rockingham, and you know, just as long as you got your car driving good and you can kind of stay on the bottom of the racetrack, you usually have a pretty good day.
Okay, this guy's looking forward to a good day. Let's go back upstairs to Mike Joy.
Thanks, Glenn. Well, unlike some of the super speedways where the cars like to hook up in a draft, Jeff Gordon told me this morning he'd like to get out and run a little bit by himself, but that's not going to be easy with this pack.
I'll tell you what, you know, they've really shown a lot of muscle with that Ford. They've been a little bit behind with the motor program. They've had the ability to set on the pole, but I don't think you've got the ability to pull away from anyone on this racetrack. The draft doesn't enter into it, but it takes a lot of car to be able to get away from somebody at this place.
It is a unique racetrack, buddy. The turns are banked a little bit differently one end to the other, and those corners are very different.
Well, I'll explain Rockingham a little bit. It's tough getting in the corner, tough in the middle of the corner, and tough getting off the corner. Other than that, it's a piece of cake.
Good way to describe it. Track is just over a mile in length, so we'll run just a little less a number of laps than the advertised race distance here as they're waiting for the command down on pit road. And they'll fire them off. 36 cars are set to start here in the Goodwrench 200. Let's have a look at the starting lineup. On the pole, Jeff Gordon in the Ford, 145.5 miles per hour. Robert Presley's Olds right alongside at 145.0. Bobby Labonte and Jeff Burton will share row number 2. Back in the third row, there's Dale Earnhardt and Kenny Wallace. Back in the Busch Series this year. Todd Bodine, who got his first career win at Dover last May on TNN. Mark Martin is there in the fourth row with him. Jack Sprague, Ward Burton, that fine third-place finish at Daytona for Ward to start off his season. There's Joe Nemechek back after that fiery crash at Daytona, and Tracy Leslie shares the sixth row. In row 7, Ricky Craven, the Busch North champion, and Davey Allison. He'll be a threat today. Jim Bound, that's Chuck's brother, with Butch Miller from Michigan, are in the 8th row. And in row number 9, Jimmy Hensley, who will turn over to Morgan Shepherd at the first caution flag. Connecticut's Jeff Berry is alongside. In row number 10, Tommy Houston starting his 301st Busch Series race, and Mike Wallace. And as we take you back through the rest of the field, Neil, what do you expect to see here for these first few laps?
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, you know, the guys have got a perfect day to race here, and they had the opportunity all week long, which is unusual, to be able to set the cars up under race conditions. Usually we come in here, it's rainy, cloudy, sunny. You have different type conditions to work under. It's been constant since they've been here. They should be in good shape and have their cars ready to race.
Looking back through the rest of this 36-car field, interestingly, this last row of Bill Elliott and Ed Ferree did not post a qualifying attempt. That's how many cars were here, so they will take up spots in the guard of honor position, as Elliott told you, at the back of that field. They'll warm them up a little bit here and then embark on 3 pace laps before they turn them loose. And this is quite a crowd here at Rockingham today. And we'll be back with the start of the Goodwrench 200 here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway in Rockingham right after these messages. We're under pace laps here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. Elmo Langley and the Pontiac safety car brings the field down the backstretch pits at the NASCAR mandated 50-mile-an-hour speed limit for pit road today. They are pitting on both sides of this racetrack. Fastest qualifiers on the front side. You're going to ride along the Winn-Dixie with Mark Martin today. His Ford will be carrying our onboard cameras. That's the face camera looking up from the dashboard. Look at Mark there as he comes along down pit road, and there's a 360-degree tilt and pan race cam. You were sitting in the passenger seat, and there's about what Mark sees. That's the roof cam located right above the windshield on the roof of the car. Nice panoramic view, and that's about what he sees as he starts right behind Kenny Wallace there. Todd Bodine moving up into position, will be alongside Martin when they drop the green.
Mike, you know, this is probably the biggest crowd they've ever had for a Saturday afternoon. It could be a record for the 27-year history of this speedway. It's unbelievable the people that come to these Busch races.
Yeah, look at that backstretch grandstand is packed. Steve Evans?
Guys, as you know, the tire rule in Busch Grand National Racing can change from track to track. I'm told that NASCAR is mandating 2 tires only on any stop, green or yellow.
That's a bit of a new wrinkle. They used to mandate only the number of tires you could put on during caution, and now green flag pit stop is affected as well. 2 tires per pit stop. Looking for green this time by, it's Jeff Gordon in that white Baby Ruth Ford up front, and Robert Presley, the Alliance Trucking Olds, alongside in black. Presley coming off a fine 5th place finish right in the lead pack at Daytona. Green flag, and it'll be Gordon. Presley is not going. Look at the field just stream past Robert Presley. Has he found a gear yet? I don't think so.
something happened to the start, Mike, either the transmission or the motor, but he's just can't get out of the way.
Jamming up well back in the pack, and Presley will fall all the way to the tail end. Jeff Gordon's out front. The 4th race he has led in his brief Busch Grand National career. Last year, led 75 laps at Rougemont, 18 at South Boston, and 1 lap at Bristol. Here's Presley coming to pit road, and it looks like he is under power, but that engine just either would not come up to speed or would not come up through the gears. Meanwhile, Gordon brings him off turn number 4. Already a healthy lead over Bobby Labonte.
Doing just like he said he was going to do, Mike. I was concerned if anyone could do that, but he said he wanted to pull out and get a lead and go by himself, and he's able to do it right now.
Well, Presley back coming to the field helped that.
I was watching Presley's car. They're changing left side tires on that car. He might have had a tire that was equalized and it started hopping real bad.
Tough break on the start for the outside full sitter. He's gone a lap down.
I take that back. I see him working under the car. It's hung in gear somehow.
With a shift. Looking for Mark Martin's Ford off the roof cam at Todd Bodine just ahead. Youngest of the 3 brothers from Chemung, New York.
Look at that hood bouncing. You think there isn't a lot of air pressure down on that car? That's what makes the rear spoilers work. Just what's happening to that hood happens on the back of the car, pushing down on it.
Mark Martin, taking you for a Sunday ride. There he is right side of your screen. Behind Kenny Wallace and Todd Bodine.
The 59 car, Presley, is pulling back out on the racetrack. It was under gear. Maybe they got it straightened out.
2 laps down to Presley. Let's have a look toward the back of the pack. Bill Elliott. Familiar red color, but that number 11 on the side of the car. This is not the Junior Johnson car. It's the Elliott family entry for the Ford V6.
And this is the motor borrowed from the guy that sat on the pole that's leading the race, and it might be something to help Bill pull up through the pack.
Riding with Mark Martin once again at 5th place.
You know, we're over talking to Kenny Wallace, where you see him right in front of Mark Martin here. We talked to him this morning. He's really excited about this car. He bought it from Darrell Waltrip, and he says it's really working super good. Bertie, you know, always seems, his crew chief, always seems to get the cars handling real well.
Steve Bird is very sharp. Here is Glenn.
Well, I'm standing with Ricky Pearson. He's the crew chief for Robert Presley's car. Ricky, what happened there on the start?
I'm not really sure. For the 3rd-degree flag, he was in the low gear, then he went to 2nd. The thing hung in 2nd, so I mean it's okay now. We got it out, you know, hung in between gears.
So all he got now is high gear?
No, when he left here, you know, it sounded like he shifted, so I'm not sure he hadn't said anything.
Okay, obviously the reason he's not talking, he's a little bit nervous. That's an awfully fast car in practice. That's a real tough race on the first lap.
Gordon laps past Mark Whitaker, the racing dentist from Greensboro. Rolled his way into today's field and get some laps out there in this 200.
Whoa. Did you see how high line he took off that corner, Neil? I don't know whether that's planned or not, but he needs to get a little bit lower line if he's going to run up front for very long.
He's got that thing running. You know, they talked before the race. He mentioned himself that they have their own in-house Ford racing program for engines, and it looks like they're on top of it. They seem to have the strongest Ford motors at the track.
Yeah, but look how much the ground he's lost to. Let's see, we're
with Mark Martin now.
Oh, yeah.
Moving up, and you see the leader as we come past the main grandstand here. Now headed off into turn number 1. They're not running him down, not by much. Martin's car's there at 5th spot. There's Todd Bodine running back at 7th place. Ward Burton is right in there, in and amongst that crowd. Some of the Busch regulars trying to hook up. Jack Sprague is the white car in the middle of that pack, and Kenny Wallace out in front of him. Sprague is the 48 car. Todd Bodine is 34. And Ward Burton. Pick up on some of the movers from the back of the pack. Steve Grissom, we talked to in pre-race, started 22nd. He's up to 16th. Bill Elliott has come from 36th to 25th, 11 spots.
Mike, that's the way racing goes. We heard Bill say it could be a long day. The way he's running, it could be an enjoyable day. He might be able to come up to the front.
I don't know, buddy. What works more on you, being up front and trying to stay there, or working your way up through?
I always like to come from the back. And one thing about it, you look better going up through there than you do falling back anytime.
That's true. Ward Burton in the Gwaltney's car, 27. Watching him work alongside Todd Bodine. Couldn't sneak under him there. Tracy Leslie, 72, and Davey Allison in black just coming into the picture.
You know, it looks like they got a lot of room. They can just drive under somebody. But what happens? This gets pretty narrow when you start in the corner here. As you see, they can't let the car drift up to really get momentum. So it puts the two cars racing each other real tight.
And you can tell who's up out of the groove as everybody tries to follow Burton on the bottom side. Todd Bodine is kind of hung out there. A little bit of smoke out of Bobby Labonte's car reported. He's the second place runner right now.
Mike, not only is he second place, he's closing in on the leader, but he's really smoking a lot now.
Neil, he's got a left rear tire at this track, and if you notice he's going right through here, the left rear tire, it looks like the fender might be down on the wheel there a little bit.
Carter had a look at him as he went by.
I'll tell you, that's enough smoke. They're going to do more than look. They won't allow that very long. They'll be doing something on him, I'm sure. Yeah, I see him reaching for the black flag right now, and his number will probably come up on the board.
Labonte snake bit at Daytona. And he'll get the black flag this time around.
Yeah, they're pointing at him and also got his number on the board, so you can't dodge that one.
That thing's just running really good. I feel sorry for him, but really and truly, they have to keep an eye on the cars like that because he probably doesn't know that thing's dragging that bad.
Yeah, you know, one car here at this place, there's one little groove there. One guy gets out of shape and he can stack up 8 or 10 cars. So just for the safety reasons, they're going to bring him down and find out what the problem is.
And that'll give Jeff Gordon exactly what he wanted. A huge lead and nobody to run with. Here's Gordon down the front straightaway, and he is all by himself. As Bobby Labonte has gone to pit road. Well, they're going under the hood as well. And just that's more than just tire smoke.
Yeah.
Usually when one runs that well and keeps picking up speed, it's usually like an oil line or something. It's hard to tell.
Let's find out from Glenn Jarrett.
There definitely is an oil leak on the car. They think they've got it located now. In fact, they do. They're jacking the car up. They see where the oil is. Looks like it's coming from the truck tank reservoir there. They've got a leak in one of the lines. This is really costly. The oil is pouring out of the car. He's already lost over a lap. This is a really tough break. So far, two of the guys that look to be real factors in this race have had nasty things happen to them early on.
Tough break for Bobby Labonte. He and Robert Presley, two of the Busch Series standouts, in trouble early. Mark Martin lapping by Shauna Robinson. Here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway, we are 18 laps into the Goodwrench 200. Jeff Gordon is up on the point. Dale Earnhardt has now moved up into second. You're riding with Mark Martin. He's the third place car.
Neil, does that make you a little homesick there?
Yeah, buddy, every time we see that shot, we think about sitting behind the wheel of one of them. That's exactly the way it looks. It just looks a lot more narrow when you get in that corner behind that driver's seat.
I believe Mark might be a little smoother than I am. I don't think I've ever been around here that nicely.
Challenge back straightaway for the lead. Just ahead of Mark Martin, that's Earnhardt on the inside of the white car. And he will take the lead at turn 3. 19 laps complete. Put Earnhardt in front of Mark Martin. Or rather, Jeff Gordon, then Mark Martin. And we'll pause for these messages. And first, Joe Nemechek's thoughts on the 1992 season ahead.
We're going after the championship this year. It's going to be my third year here, and I think we have a team capable of winning. We have a good motor program, good cars. Just everything's in there. If we just have a little bit of good luck, it's going to be right there.
At the North Carolina Motor Speedway, we're under the first caution of the day, and you see Morgan Shepherd ready to climb in and relieve Jimmy Hensley. As was planned, Hensley still aching from that Daytona crash. Be a little slow getting out there, but still plenty of time.
Mike, those broken ribs, I've done that maneuver before. It's not easy to get in and out of there.
I tell you, Morgan's going to have a hard time reaching pedals. Hensley's a pretty good-sized boy compared to Morgan Shepherd.
And here's why we're under caution. Chuck Bound for the second week in a row, counting Daytona, not counting Hickory, of course, where it rained out. They couldn't wreck there, but they sure did here. We'll have a look at it. This incident that brought out the first caution flag of the day. Neil?
Let's see if we can pick them up coming off the corner here. Looked like the Looked like he got a little tag from the rear, turned him straight out on the outside wall. I don't know what kind of problem led in there, but boy, really almost got up over the fence. And right now he's headed for that inside wall, just straight in. Thank goodness it turned a little bit of angle and took some of the shock away, but something turned him to the outside wall coming off the corner, buddy.
It looked like we'll get a good shot of it here. Let's see. Here's Gordon going around. He got a tap from the rear for definite.
Or from Mark Martin.
I think he spun and never touched the thing, though.
Something happened. Jeff had been falling back. You know, Earnhardt just got around him. He was dropping back, and he was getting up off the corner real slow, and, you know, Mark tagged him coming off the corner.
Let's see here. Watch the distance between Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon's car. Boom. Boy, Mark just came right up.
Well,
came right up into him.
What happened? He backed off. He seen the wreck up here, I'm sure, and he backed off, and he didn't have a reaction time fast enough to get on the binders and miss Jeff.
But Gordon was able to continue without hitting anything. As a result, there's another look, just the aftermath of.
This is Chuck Bound after he's hit the inside wall.
See this?
Yeah, there's Jeff Gordon.
Exactly.
You're right, he lifted for the wreck.
Yeah.
But like you say, Bud, he spun all the way around and never was touched. He came around and got 4 tires, so he's ready to go.
That's the way they're running now after 23 laps. Could it have been that Jeff Gordon's spotter was on the radio and got him out of the throttle a little quicker than Mark Martin did?
No, I've seen some stuff on the back straightaway. There was some debris up in the racetrack itself, and he probably just slowed down and Mark didn't have time to react.
Chuck Bound climbed out of his car. Okay, here's Glenn.
Well, this is Bill Davis, who is the car owner and crew chief for pole sitter Jeff Gordon. Got tagged by the teammate there. Bill, what happened?
Yeah, Team B bumped us in the rear. I'm not sure what happened over there, but Mark hit him in the back, spun, flattened the front tires, but we've got 4. That could be an advantage later.
Well, no other damage than that. I saw just superficial damage on the left rear, nothing serious.
Yeah, I think it was just all sheet metal. I think we'll be fine if we just can get back up through there.
Okay, also to update you on what Bobby Labonte's problem was, unfortunately, they found out they put too much oil in the oil tank to begin with. The oil was just simply overflowing the top.
Nice piece of driving there by Mark Martin after inadvertently getting into the back of Jeff Gordon.
You know, Mike, someone sitting there would say, well, why did the guy just run into him? At a racetrack like this, you go down in the middle corner, you stand wide open in the throttle. You make a commitment about 100 foot back from where that accident happens. The car makes a good, strong run. Something happens, you lift. You just can't do it quick enough. But he certainly didn't do it on purpose. They started stacking up in the wreck, and there was nothing he could do.
Okay, there's Jeff Gordon back in the race. Let's go to Steve Evans.
Well, for Jimmy Hensley, that caution couldn't come soon enough. How you feeling, buddy?
Well, I wasn't too bad, but, you know, I thought we got out without losing a lap, but they said that Morgan running stop signs over a lap down. I hate that for him.
You know, I could see the pain in your eyes when you came out of that window. Boy, those ribs are really bothering you.
Well, my ribs hurt me, you know, worse than anything. Foot's in pretty good shape.
Now, Morgan has practice in that car. He's not a stranger to it.
Right. He practiced this morning, so he'll be okay. We thought we could do it without losing a lap, and they held him on pit road, you know, cost him a lap. So, you know, that's going to hurt us.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
All right, back upstairs, guys.
So that's Morgan Shepherd now in the Jimmy Hensley car. We're under caution, first one of the day, 25 laps now complete. Chuck Bound has never finished in the top 10 at Rockingham. It's not one of his better tracks. 7 starts, no top 10 finishes. Best effort was 12th here a year ago, 2 years ago.
You know something, Neil? Jeff Gordon must have tremendous car control to stand on that back straightaway and not hit either wall. I'm going to tell you, I don't think I've ever spun over there. I didn't hit one wall or the other.
He's very talented or very lucky. I'm not sure which enters into it at that particular time.
Glenn Jarrett.
Well, here's a guy that I'm glad to be standing next to right now. Wild ride there, Chuck. What happened?
It wasn't any fun. I don't know. We were just trying to work our way up, taking our time. There's a long way to go. It was early in the race, and somebody just knocked the heck out of me from behind. I lost control and got in the outside wall and the inside wall. I just couldn't save it. It just got away from me. I took a pretty good knock from behind, so it was a short day for the Nescafe and ST Pontiac. It's a shame after Daytona we needed a good run today, but that's racing.
Well, this track never has been really kind to you. Not much success here.
Been the worst track we've ever gone to. Last year, I don't think we made 17 laps both races all together. We just can't make anything happen at Rockingham. We'll be back.
Okay,
well, their season will start next week at Richmond on TNN. 26 laps complete. As you look at Kenny Wallace's car. Earnhardt at the front of the pack. Jeff Burton, Mark Martin, Ward Burton, Jeff's brother in 4th. Kenny Wallace riding in the 5th spot. And there's 6th through 10th back through Tommy Houston. We'll return to the North Carolina Motor Speedway after these messages and a word from Kenny Wallace about his outlook for the season.
What happens every year is usually, for example, myself and Bobby Labonte were the ones, you know, that were running up front last year. Now you got Robert Presley, Steve Grissom, and Joe Nemechek, who are, you know, shooting for us, which makes it a lot tougher. Robert Presley and you know, Steve Grissom have come out of the gates running really good. So, you know, we got to get just as tough as they do.
We're back at the Goodwrench 200 at North Carolina Motor Speedway. Mike Joy with Neil Bonnet and Buddy Baker topside. We are about to go back under green. Our coverage of the Goodwrench 200 is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. Saying we were about to go back to green, but they held it for a lap because Jack Sprague's car went up in a cloud of smoke on the back straightaway just before they got the green, and he's now pulled behind pit wall. You see the hood up. Whether it's an oil leak or something more terminal, we'll find out in a minute, see if he can get back into action. Just finished 19th here 2 years ago in the October race. Well, now the field is pretty well spread out, and we'll hold the caution for another lap as they check over there.
Mike, I don't know what happened there. You know, he was riding there. We were just fixing to take the green flag, and all of a sudden smoke just boiled out of that car. It's hard to believe it blew up on the caution. Maybe something broke on the car.
Yeah. Here's Glenn.
This is Gil Martin, who is the crew chief on the car number 8 TIC Financial Systems Oldsmobile, driven by Jeff Burton. Pretty good run so far. How does Jeff say the car's feeling, Gil?
The car feels pretty good. The sun's popped out on us, and the car's a little bit loose right now, but I don't know. We'll get the TIC car in here in the pits in a minute. We'll work on it and tighten it up, and I believe we'll be good for the rest of the day.
Things been happening kind of fast out there so far. Unfortunately, he's been able to avoid all that mess.
Yeah, that's true. He keeps coming over the radio. He keeps saying he doesn't know how he made it through that first wreck, so I'm just glad we did.
Well, how are things going so far? This is a new driver for you, obviously, this year with Jeff at the helm of this car, and he seems to know his way around these super speedways pretty good, as well as the short tracks.
Yeah, it's working out real good so far. We've had a good week the whole time. I'm just glad we got a practice session this morning because we blew a motor this morning in the first practice session. We just got it changed right before the cars got on the line, so we're going to see how it does.
Well, the guy he's following right now, the leader, Dale Earnhardt, you can certainly have no better guy to follow around this racetrack. If he can keep up with him, he's in for a real good day.
Well, what did Ward Burton tell us this morning about following Dale Earnhardt around Daytona?
He said he learned more in 2.5 hours than he had in 2.5 years.
Well, let's see who goes to school on Earnhardt now. They dropped the green flag the second time today, and it is Earnhardt stretching things out here at lap 31. And cars slow back up in the field, and they stack them toward the back, but everybody will continue on. Shot there from Mark Martin's car, in-car. From that roof cam as they come past. Earnhardt, Jeff Burton, Mark Martin. Rather, Robert Presley, the lap car. Right in the middle there, trying to get his lap, one of his laps back. Davey Allison trying to come up through the field. Last posted in 7th position. Right behind Tracy Leslie in the Detroit Gasket car. Up front, Earnhardt and Presley, showing Presley as, I believe it's 2 laps down at this point.
Yeah, but he's trying to get one of them back right now. That's why he's running as hard as he is. If he could get just ahead of Earnhardt and hold that spot, I'm sure there'll be another caution for him to make up that lap.
That's right. He lost nearly 3 laps in the pits. And then with the caution bunching the field, he goes up to the front of the outside line, so he's just barely 2 laps down.
Well, I can tell you one thing. That's the toughest man in the world to make up a lap on right in front of him.
And he knows Presley will be a contender. Robert was right there at the finish in Daytona.
You know, that's the outside pole setter. Anybody that's got a car that quick, if you can keep him down, you want to keep him down, and he's going to have to work to get around there.
Earnhardt trying to stretch the field out just a little bit here, as we're just 35 laps in. Bill Elliott trying to come up to the back of the pack. Elliott is up to 16th position.
Mike, he made a real strong move early, and just a while ago on that restart you were talking about, one car really bogged everybody down. It hurt Bill worse than anyone. He was right behind him, and now he's able to get around some more cars. So that thing of his is really running. He might work his way to the front.
Gets underneath Jeff Green to move up a notch and takes Richie Burgess in the Oldsmobile there, 37 along with him.
You know, Bill's at a disadvantage, too, without a starter. If he was to spin like Jeff Gordon did and choke that motor down, that'd be it till the tow truck got there.
Riding back with Mark Martin now off the roof cam.
Look at the back end of that car down.
That's Morgan Shepherd in the Don Beverly car. Jimmy Hensley started. Shepherd in relief. He is a lap down. That 25 car is a lap down. You're riding with a third-place car.
Uh-oh. He just collected the North Carolina bugs there.
Ooh, it's a big nasty one. That's one of the few that didn't find its way up here to our spotter's booth.
Could we get him to come in so we could clean that off for us?
Tear-offs. Got tear-offs. Okay. Motorized tear-offs on that lens. Thank goodness. One caution flag has lowered the average speed, as you saw. Earnhardt, then the lap car of Robert Presley. And then Jeff Burton, who's had a good run here so far in the early going. Out of South Boston, Virginia, that TIC Financial Olds, 2 career victories. One last May up at South Boston, Virginia. Best finish here, 8th in this race last year. Trying to improve on that. Here's Steve.
I'm in Mark Martin's pit. His crew chief, Bobby Moon. Bobby, we hear that maybe there's a clutch problem with that automobile or something going on.
Yeah, we've been fighting a clutch problem with Dixon Ford all week long. It went out there right early in the race.
Does it hook up out on the racetrack, or is it just a problem in the pits?
No, it's just really a throwout bearing problem.
All right, thanks, Bud.
Well, now, how serious is that?
If it's just a throwout bearing, Mike, only time you'd have a problem would be shifting gears, getting up to speed maybe, but somebody like Mark Martin, he's able to shift that car without the clutch if he wants to. He'll be able to work with it.
The green flag pit stops is the only time that would really be a bother to him.
This right here is exactly what the guys don't need to see. He's that little 3-car out front, because once he gets out there, he's hard to take it away from him. And you know, the Busch guys have really been running strong, and I can't help but think before the day's over, they'll give Dale a handful.
Well, let's look back here at 4th place. It's Kenny Wallace in 36, Ward Burton, and Davey Allison. 4th, 5th, and 6th. That's closing up into what will be a battle unless they stay single file and try to run down the leader.
These are 3 well-matched cars right here. They're all handling super good, and they're not gaining anything on each other, so it's just kind of a chain-like race right now.
Now, where Davey Allison is there in 6th place, it's 3.5 seconds ahead of Dale Earnhardt, the leader. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot of ground to make up if you have to.
This racetrack, you're talking about almost one straightaway. It's, like you say, Mike, it's just tough to make that up.
Now, how about Kenny Wallace? Steve Bird, his crew chief, told me this morning, he said, we moved into that shop Monday, and it didn't have so much as the flat washer in it. And they just built a racing operation in a week, got here ready to run.
Yeah, but let me tell you, there's a little behind-the-scenes thing that might happen. Felix Sabatis, who owns Kyle Petty's Winston Cup car, Felix would buy a lot of washers in a hurry.
That's true.
He got that team where it's ready to go racing.
2nd place is heating up as a battle as well. Jeff Burton, that TIC car just ahead of Mark Martin. Jeff's dancing around a little bit there. He comes off 4. Mark draws a bead on him. And here's Jeff Gordon running Mike Wallace in the Dick Moroso car.
One thing about it, you can see Mike Wallace on the racetrack. That's got to be the brightest car out there.
Hurts my eyes. And so Jeff is coming back up through the field. He is presently in 20th position. Todd Bodine running right behind Mike Wallace there.
The one thing he's got going for him, he's really improving his positions. He's got 4 new tires and a full load of fuel. The guys up front did not stop.
And there's Ward Burton just slipping into 5th spot, or 4th spot rather, ahead of Kenny Wallace. So Burton to 4th, Wallace to 5th, Davey Allison holds at 6th place. Looks like Burton's going to move away from those 2.
Neil, I want to know something. Did any of the Alabama gang come up here and help lay out this racetrack? Y'all all run well on it. Up, look over.
2, trouble in 2. One car is spun and is up against the wall at the exit of turn 2. That looks like Troy Beebe out of Modesto, California, in the Marvin Thaxton car.
Man, he hit hard. Look at a roof stuff on one side.
They had a new sponsor on the car for this race. For a Banana Boat, I believe, trying to sell a little suntan stuff. And
this fixing to get some exposure when we get a shot of this.
Yeah. Yeah, they have tanned the wall out there in turn 2 and slathered it pretty good.
Yeah, that's all for that car.
Tough break for this fella out of Winston West, trying to hook something up. Buddy?
Well, that looks like he's out of control. I don't know why, but he definitely hit hard on the driver's side. That's about as hard a lick as you can take, a flat flap into the wall on the driver's side.
Well, Professor Baker has been schooling us on turn number 2 here at Rockingham, and if a guy's going to have, he's going to pick a corner to have a problem. Would that be it?
That is not the place to have problems. Most people don't know there's a crown in the racetrack over there coming out of the corner, and it drags you right into the wall, so you have to allow for the car to drift coming off that corner.
We are under caution. Davey Allison leads, Tracy Leslie under caution, Joe Nemechek, Tommy Houston, and Ricky Craven. We'll be back to Rockingham after these messages and a word from Robert Presley about what he looks for from 1992.
But you know, we've really turned our super speedways little deal around, and you know, we're running great this year and look forward to it. We got new race cars and hoping we can win a few of these things.
This second caution of the day came out at lap number 48, and among the caution flag pit stops, a little bit of bump and run down there on pit road. I'll show you a bit of it here. Earnhardt trying to come out of the pits, and pit road's a busy spot there.
Good grief.
That's Ward Burton's crew.
The part of that didn't show up was Ward came in and kind of parked a little bit out on the edge of the road there, and they left the tires out there, and looked like a shovel. Earnhardt cleaned the pit road for him.
He sure did. Glenn?
Well, Lady Luck smiled on the man in black here. He came in for a routine change of right side tires. As they were changing the tire, when they jacked the car up, they noticed that the left rear tire was going flat. Now, the rule allows them only to change right side or 2 tires at one time. However, if they can show the inspector, a NASCAR inspector, that there is a flat on one of the other tires, they can change that without penalty. So Earnhardt has 3 fresh tires on there. That caution came at a very opportune time for him, because who knows, he could have gone sailing off down into the turn with a flat left rear tire under the green. Could have been the end of the day for him. So very lucky for Dale Earnhardt.
3 for the price of 2. Not a bad bargain. Joe Bessie from Scarborough, Maine is leading this race, trying to pile up a few Busch North points in the Auto Palace Pontiac.
Mike, there's one part about putting 3 tires on one of these race cars. The reason we do it in pairs and sets is to match the car. If that we didn't know if that flat was on the rear or the front. You put a good tire on the rear, and the front tire's a little weak, it'll make it push. You put it on the front, it'll make it loose. So sometimes that's good, and sometimes it can hurt the car because you got a little bit better bite on one end of the car than the other.
It's not like short track racing where you just change 3 tires as a matter of course and let the left front one go.
They'll use all 4 of them on a track like this, and if there's one tire that's a little weak, not quite as adhesive as the others, it can be a problem.
Well, some of the cars that have been running toward the back make their way to the front of the pack for not having made pit stops. Joe Bessie is one. Richard Lassiter is up there from Little Rock, Arkansas, the innkeeper Pontiac. Then there's Mark Martin, Jeff Burton, and Joe Nemechek. That's the top 5 after 51 laps. A couple of Allison in 6th and 7th. Bill Elliott, then Ward Burton, and Kenny Wallace. The top 10 are scored as of the moment. One more lap will be back to green flag racing. Jeff Burton had him covered there for a few moments, but didn't last long, and then Earnhardt took off and disappeared from the field. Now we're back to even again. Cars moving up on the outside, a lap or more down.
Robert Presley really came around everyone on the outside. He's still trying to get that lap back. He's a few laps down, but he's got a car capable of doing that.
I'd say his chances right now if he's going to make up a lap.
This is it. Now's the time. Bobby Labonte's right with him. Pace car does an early exit. And let's see what kind of speed Bessie brings them down. He's won a bunch of races up north. Looking for his first success down here.
I would almost say Presley will get one lap back here. He put on tires and was able to come back around, and the guys on the inside had to hold the tires on.
Yeah. The only thing they got to watch is not to jump that car before the flag goes.
And we're back under green at lap 53. Bessie's going to take the middle groove. Presley's going to have to do it the long way around if he's going to come. Mark Martin right there, now the second place car.
His opportunity now, that lap back is on the inside, and he probably can do it right here off this corner with those good tires on that car.
Here comes Mark Martin, though. He's going to be a player.
One thing I've noticed about a radio, that's not as effective the first lap. It comes on in about 2 laps. You'll see him make his moves here pretty quick now. You got to get a little heat in them for him to really stick like you want him to. There he goes.
Bessie up in the groove. Presley gets his lap back, and here comes Mark Martin. Almost got a little to do there with Joe Bessie, but Martin will go into the lead.
Mark's car is handling extremely well. We're just lucky to have a camera in that baby. We can see the whole deal now.
If we dodge the bullet, we'll be okay.
Mark has won here before in a Ford owned by Bill Davis, who fields the car Jeff Gordon was driving today. Gordon up to 20th spot right now. There's Bobby Labonte a lap down. Could not get his lap back. And Mark Martin now trails Robert Presley. And Joe Bessie about to give up second spot. Labonte, correction, is 6 laps down.
Like they were checking for that oil leak, and it wasn't a leak like they would say it was over full. If it had been leaking, it would be easier to check.
Jeff Burton in number 8 coming up to challenge Bessie.
You know, that might be the first time I've ever seen the camera out of the back of the car really work well. You could see every spot on the car behind it.
There's Davey Allison. Joe Nemechek is right with him. Good battle there. That's back at 5th spot.
There's Bill Elliott talking about what a long day it was going to be. He's kind of shortening it up.
Where did he come from?
Getting the car up there in contention now.
Yep. Davey Allison in black and orange, and Joe Nemechek flying the Texas Pete colors. Front straightaway. Joe Bessie's giving a good account of himself.
On that restart, I really thought Presley could get the lap back from him and everything. And he got out there a little bit on him, but I tell you, the guy's really running good with his race car right now.
Here's the car I'm looking for today. Ward Burton just went underneath Bill Elliott like he was stopped, and now Kenny Wallace and Earnhardt will follow through that open door.
Yeah, usually when you borrow a motor, it's not quite as good as the one in the number 1 car.
Never know. Here's Elliott right back at Earnhardt. But he's on that high groove. And still can't get down.
It's kind of treachery out there on that outside. You get up in that loose stuff. It's not so bad after a lot of cars run out there, but when you're the first guy up in the edge, it's a little bit slippery.
Good battle here as Burton works his way to the front. That's Richard Lassiter just ahead. The yellow car, Lassiter was second when they took the green flag for the restart. It's the innkeeper Pontiac. Trouble in 2. A lot of smoke out of 1 car. Looks like it's grenaded. That's Elliott. Kaboom.
I guess he's going to turn that one back in with a little shorter fuse on it.
Well, they thrashed to get that motor in and make the start of this race. Tough break in a short day. 3rd caution. And Robert Presley has made up a lap.
What do you do in a case like this? Go over with the guy you borrowed the motor and say, I sure do appreciate that, but...
I don't think so. I think what he'll do is buy them another motor.
I believe Elliott's pitted on the backstretch side, which makes it an even longer way around. Let's have another look here. No, it's already gone.
He's real lucky he didn't spin there, Neil, with that much smoke and stuff coming out of that car.
Well, he's going to use up all the racetrack. He's still got his hands full. See the rear trying to come around, drive it up, rear moving around. Thank goodness it was 20 foot wider, and when he started in there, he'd have been on the wall.
Put quite a coat of rust free on Tommy Houston's car. Tommy was right there lined up behind him, almost got up into that oil.
You know, you've seen something just then most people don't know. If he'd have locked the brakes up then, he would have went around and smacked that wall straight backwards. He drove that car with the clutch in and let it coast up towards the wall in case it did break loose. That's very smart on his part.
It's got to be like driving on ice.
Exactly. That's what it's like. If you lock the brakes up, you're gone. But a lot of people will do it when that smoke flies up in their face.
Caution again, 3rd one today. This one came out on lap 60, or check that, lap 62 for Bill Elliott. And that engine, we've got a bunch of different leaders already. Jeff Gordon led the first 19 laps. Dale Earnhardt went to the front until lap 48. Joe Bessie led 6 circuits, and then it's been Mark Martin. Pit road is open. That's the signal of that green flag up there at the end of pit road. Not that we're on the restart, but the pit road is open.
Mike, I was wondering, you know, this is the first time that Mark Martin's come in. He didn't come in on the other cautions. He's in now,
So Mark Martin makes a pit stop, and here's the way they're running after 63 laps at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. We're back after these messages and Todd Bodine's thoughts on the 1992 season ahead, much of which you'll see right here on TNN.
The main thing we want to do this year is run consistent. We tried to get that last year. We didn't quite do it. We'd run good a couple races and run bad one. We want to run consistent this year, get some consistent good finishes, and try to run for the championship.
Well, Bill Elliott came from the back to the front, but his day is a short one. He's brought out the third caution of the day, and he's standing with Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Bill, I didn't expect to be talking to you quite this soon, but you were prophetic over there before the start of the race. Said it might be a tough day. What happened out there?
Well, it started smoking up in the car, and I knew something. I thought it might have been the transmission or something leaking a little bit of grease. Then I drove it off in turn one, and it all came out. And I don't know if it maybe blew all the oil out of the breathers or broke an oil line or something. We're still kind of looking over the car, but the car really ran well. You know, we kind of got a pig and a poke there because we didn't know what we had when the race started, but it ran pretty decent.
Well, it looked like you were moving up there pretty good, but fortunately it did not blow the engine, just an oil line or something like that.
Oil line or something like that, because the engine was still running. I just cut it off, and we'll just go back and see what it's done and try next week.
When's the next time you run this car?
Probably run it at Richmond next weekend. It's a good race car if we can just kind of get a few things sorted out here.
Well, Bill Elliott looking to have a little better luck when we bring you the Richmond race next Saturday.
I think he got up as high as third at one rundown from all the way back in 36 starting position.
Pretty good pig and a poke, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say I'll take it. Looking at Mike Wallace, Joe Bessie, and Richard Lassiter. Two of those cars have had some time in the sun, and now up at the front of the pack is the Moroso car. For the middle brother out of St. Louis, the Daly's First Aid Oldsmobile, Mike Wallace at the wheel. Look from the back of the Pontiac safety car at the bright colors carried by Mike Wallace. One to go, we'll be racing. But we had him on the radio show in Daytona, and if he didn't turn out to be just as different from Rusty and Kenny as he could be.
Absolutely. Well, they were all nice guys, but I tell you, this guy right here, you know, he'd won a bunch of races. He just got in the Busch Grand National circuit last year, but he'd won a bunch of races, and if anybody needs some good luck, Dick Moroso needs it with the First Aid there.
Here's your Napa update of the field, and we'll make a correction. Wallace is not the leader. He had pitted under green just before that caution came out, and he's now just shy of being 2 laps down. So Joe Bessie is the leader once again. Richard Lassiter is second as you look through the field. That's how they were running at 60 laps. We're now at lap 66 and about to go back to green. Well, light's still on the safety car. We'll take another caution tour.
Mike, I'm not so sure. When we saw that shot going into first and second turn, a lot of oil drops still flying, and it'd probably take them another lap through there to clean that off.
So one more lap of caution.
What most people don't know is that oil dries as slick as the oil until it gets blown off the racetrack.
So we're going to have another look around here.
Giving them one to go this time. They figured this time they're blow it out of the way.
Whack.
So 1 lap to go, and we're back under green. Busch North driver Joe Bessie up in front of the field.
There's Presley up here trying to, he got one of those laps back, and he wanted to try it again. He's up here getting 3 abreast trying to get up there and get a lap back.
I don't think Mike wanted anything to do with that.
Nope.
You know, they put the, let's see, they don't invert their starts on it like we do. The faster car is always on the inside, 10 laps to go or something like that. They go to the outside if they're a lap down or some deal like that.
Well, right now, the lap cars are up on the outside.
That's what I say, yeah.
Cars on the lead lap are on the inside. This time we'll get a start. Up front, the 1988 Busch Grand National North Rookie of the Year. Took 5 pole positions in that series in 1989. Joe Bessie up at front, and look at this pack trying to run him down.
Look at Earnhardt coming on the outside.
That's the hard way.
He don't care.
Let him get the oil dry away.
Yeah, Mark Martin on the bottom, side by side. There's Earnhardt coming into frame and up and on by. Past Butch Miller. The Food Country car.
See some racing right now.
Look at the rubber flying up off the racetrack getting the hammer there.
Did you see Mark just go right on by Earnhardt? That's pretty impressive.
And way slow in the middle of the pack, scattering everybody, is Mike Wallace. field just moves all around him. Here's Mark Martin. You ride with him underneath Jim Bound. And out of turn 2.
Did I say he just went right on by Earnhardt? I don't think so. Earnhardt must have just dove right under a bunch of cars on the inside.
This is a good indication of junk that's on the racetrack after restart. It's the best you can do, but it's throwing up those pieces of trash and debris, and it takes a couple of laps to get the track cleared back off.
Earnhardt right on the bottom. Sticks the nose in there underneath Joe Nemechek. Mike Wallace has gone to pit road. They're trailing the blue car, Morgan Shepherd, in 25 in relief of Jimmy Hensley. Earnhardt and Shepherd now.
I'll tell you what, Earnhardt and Mark Martin both have extremely strong cars. They're handling great.
That's back at 6th place. Todd Bodine and Davey Allison. And here's a pitch battle. Kenny Wallace underneath Jim Bound. Up front, they're shuffling for the lead as well. Still this good battle. And now, remind you, Robert Presley is back on the lead lap. He worked his way around Joe Bessie, the leader. Up front, there's Joe Bessie in 7, and right with him, Jeff Gordon.
Jeff has been working his way through these caution flags and running good on the racetrack. He was on the pole and led the race, and now he's worked himself right back in contention again.
And here's Earnhardt hopping up into 3rd place. A daring move off the bottom of the racetrack, and Mark Martin came right with him. Martin into 4th. That black Winn-Dixie car right behind Earnhardt. You ride along with him. Up in turns 3 and now 4 in 4th place. Here's Bessie in the blue car trying to hold off the advances of 20-year-old Jeff Gordon.
Something's got to give here. We got 4 real fast race cars ready to go. You stack them up this close, it's real tight up off the corner.
And Earnhardt will get under you sooner or later if you stay up there. You watch him. He'll dive under all of them here in a second.
Gordon to the outside.
There I go.
Work hard, but he may get it here.
There I go right again, huh? Did he dive under? He goes to the outside.
Bessie's doing a good job of holding down the bottom of the racetrack.
He'll do it on the inside this time because he's got them both up high. He might be able to cut down under right here.
I don't think Bessie's getting room.
Bessie's got that inside. He's not going to let him have it.
Crash in the back straightaway. 2 cars are tangled up. That's Barry Bostic, the blue car. And he's wrapped up. I believe that's Glenn Sullivan out of Westbury, New York. Caution.
And Presley got that other lap back. He's in the lead lap now.
4th caution of the day. 76 laps, and it's Jeff Gordon who will bring them around to the caution flag. What a battle up front.
That's a great race. It always is. I have really enjoyed it.
There's the 84 car, Glenn Sullivan. The Chevrolet.
I don't think it's any real great problem back there. It looked like he may have hung some sheet metal together because they'd come to a stop and then they broke a loose from each other and took off. Up. Yeah. Just like I said, no contact.
Everybody's trying to climb the fence over there off turn 2. It looks like the 2 wrecks we've seen, they've been up on top of the wall.
Wow.
Looks like they got hung up right in the bottom of 2.
Now they're hung up.
Barry Bostic drives away without too much trouble there, the Leighton construction Buick. But there's Sullivan's car out of Westbury, New York. It did not fare as well.
These guys are looking and say, boy, it doesn't look bad to me. They don't know what happened on the other side of the racetrack.
They certainly couldn't be sending that car back out as hard as it hit.
Maybe. Here's Bostic's car.
No.
Put some tires on the right side of that one, and the Sullivan car has gone behind the wall. It's torn up pretty badly on the left rear corner. Leader in the pits, Jeff Gordon, will get service from the Bill Davis crew.
I tell you, Robert Presley made those 2 laps up, but from here on, getting back to the lead will be a little tougher than that other times when he could go up there and pass everybody on the outside.
13.5-second stop. There's Robert Presley getting service.
You know, Mike, at the top of the show we were talking about the parity with the Busch guys racing against Winston Cup. 13 seconds to put on 2 tires. These Busch teams are right on top of the situation. They're just as good as the Winston Cup guys when it comes to changing tires.
Used to be a lot of the Winston Cup teams would service Busch cars on Saturday, but as you say, Neil, now they've developed their own. They've been running longer races over the last couple of years. They've developed their own group of specialists, and they're able to crank them right out.
Mike, I think what goes over unseen a lot of times is a lot of the guys, these Busch drivers, want to drive a Winston Cup race car, but these crew members want to work into the Winston Cup series. So they start in the Busch series. The guys in Winston Cup say, hey man, they pulled a 13-second stop. Let's go down there and see who's working for them. So that's how the graduation goes from the mechanics into the Winston Cup.
Good point. Len Jarrett?
Guys, you're looking at Bobby Hayden. Bobby is the crew chief for Joe Bessie. You guys are really no stranger to super speedway racing. Had a good qualifying run at Daytona, but he's really opening some eyes out there today.
Yeah, the AC Delco's running really well, and we came here and we've been running really well, but we just really missed the time trial setup, so I think we'll be all right.
Doing a tremendous job of holding off some of NASCAR's best. How does he say the car feels?
The car's just a little tight, but hopefully on the next caution when we get fuel and stuff, we're going to loosen it up a little bit.
Well, is he saying that he's having a lot of fun out there holding off Earnhardt?
Yeah, he sure is having the time of his life right now.
And so are these guys back here. They're having a ball. Every time that Joe makes a move on the racetrack, they're right in the car with him.
He's a good young fella. Saw him win his first Busch Grand National North race on the quarter mile at Agawam, Massachusetts a few years back. One very happy young lad and good little race driver. He is getting his work cut out for him here today, though. On the caution flag, they'll score Jeff Gordon as the leader at the caution and Earnhardt second. So Joe Bessie will then drop to third. I believe that's the way they'll sort it out. Check that. Bessie in second, and Mark Martin will show up as the third place car. Davey Allison and Kenny Wallace, that's the top 5. There's a look back through 10th as we are under caution. We'll pause for these messages and a word from Bobby Labonte on how he looks ahead to 1992.
I'd say it's a good 25% tougher than it was last year. I mean, last year was tough enough as it was, but, you know, at the end of the year, I saw a lot of people coming up that were running better towards the end of the year, and I tell you, it's going to be tough. This is one division that's going places.
TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Goodwrench 200 is brought to you by Mellow Yellow and Kyle Petty. There's nothing mellow about him. We're back to green, and it's Dale Earnhardt at the front of the pack. Todd Bodine is the car running right behind him, but Toddley is a couple of laps down after a stop there. Double check and get your count on him, but we're not posting him on the lead lap at the moment. He is 1 lap down. Now here's Kenny Wallace coming along with Jeff Burton in the 8 car. Working on Joe Bessie, who's been leading this race. Tracy Leslie is right there. And Ward Burton is with him in 27. And here's another example. All the Busch guys off racing in their own pack, while the Winston Cup guys are off racing in their own pack. Earnhardt, Mark Martin. And did it just happen to sort out that way?
I don't know. It looked like there's a bunch of guys in the front for the Busch that didn't pit on that last time and stayed up front, and they're able to hold that position.
Ward Burton works around Joe Bessie's car, which did not stop and is fading a bit. One driver to keep an eye on is Robert Presley. 5 laps into this race, he was nearly 3 laps down. Neil, he's done a great job in a 59 car.
For the last 5 laps, he's just been passing them as he comes to him. High, low, inside, outside. You see him drive by Morgan Shepherd and put 5 car lengths on him in 1 corner. A while ago, when he got that last lap back, he put almost a straightaway up the lead car. There's a lot of strength right there.
He's up to 12th place. And here's Bessie backing up a bit.
I don't know if Bessie's backing up much as Presley, just sailing by him. He's moving on now.
I don't know what's wrong with Morgan's car, but he's been dropping back really fast in the past couple of laps. In the 25 car.
Tommy Houston around the outside of Joe Bessie, so Joe Nemechek. And the 19 car of Tom Peck. A little further back. Well, there you see Tommy Houston in 6th. Toward the tail end of that pack as they round off the corner. Up front, Earnhardt and Mark Martin going to hook it up.
Yeah, you know, Earnhardt had a little lead a while ago, and here's Mark Martin able to close in on him right now. Both their cars right on the bottom of the racetrack, and that position right there, really, when your cars stay down there, it's really a good feeling.
You know something, Neil, a couple of years ago, you couldn't take a Ford and run with these Chevrolets here, but all of a sudden, their program as far as the Busch Grand National cars is together. They're really running good today.
Well, buddy, you had to have a couple of years ago, we just had one Ford on the circuit. We're seeing 4 and 5 at a time now. So they're really working on that program to see if they get the V6 Ford effective.
Heck, last year, Davey Allison didn't even have a Ford to run. He had a Chevrolet. Now he's in a Ford, and he's the third-place car. Steve Evans?
I had a chat with Mark Martin this morning, and he said he feels that his Ford V6 is as much as 50 horsepower down or less than, say, Earnhardt of the top GM Motors. But he said the car handles so well, it can make up for that. He figured that Jeff Gordon's car was maybe only 25 horsepower less than his GM cars. But he also pointed out, he said it's a bulletproof motor. It finishes as strong as it starts. He said, look for me to really go after him the latter part of this race.
Mike, one thing about that, when you start talking horsepower, there's horsepower numbers and there's torque numbers. A lot of people look for big horsepower, but torque at a place like this where you have a lot of bottom end power to pull up off the corner, the Ford's a little more torqueier than the Chevrolets, and it shows up when we go a place like this in Dover.
Well, it's that torque that'll pull them off the corner right there, coming up and out of the hole.
I kind of question whether there's 50 horsepower difference in those two cars. I don't see a whole big gap coming in between them down the straightaway.
If you're driving a Ford, it's nice to say 50 down. Maybe they'll give you a little bit of an edge.
Exactly.
Let's look at this battle for 11th. Joe Nemechek in 87. Tommy Houston right with him in the number 6 car. And here comes Jeff Gordon getting underneath Jim Bound. Then it's Tom Peck and Ricky Craven.
Jeff Gordon came storming up through there a while ago. Then he's lost a little bit of ground. You know, at the start of the race, when he's on the pole, he can lead the race about 20 laps, and the car faded a little bit. They might have a little chassis work they've got to do.
I think he made another stop under the caution, and so had to come from the back of the pack once again. Nemechek in 87. Boy, he had that wild ride in the Goodies 300. That's the 10th and 11th place battle you're watching. Up in the corner, got tapped by Jimmy Spencer, went around, cracked the wall with the back end of the car. And I believe what may have happened, according to one source, is the ball check valve in the fuel cell got bent and wasn't able to do its job, and fuel just flowed up and over, and then there was a spark. And boy, his car, Chuck Bounds and Bobby Labonte's went up.
After there was a spark, there was a tremendous fire. Thank goodness no one was hurt any worse than they were.
The car was a blowtorch. All 3 drivers okay and racing here. One other driver who was injured at Daytona was Robert Huffman, who was kept in the hospital. He was injured in a separate crash by himself, was not wearing the full face helmet that many of the drivers had adopted, and had some 2nd and 3rd degree burns to his face. He was at Hickory last weekend, but was not in competition. He does plan to return to racing sometime in the near future, however. 22 is around. That's Jeff Berry out of Norwich, Connecticut.
Boy, is he sitting in a bad place too, Mike.
Right in the middle of the back straightaway. No room to back up. No place to go forward.
He better not back up, I promise you that.
Yeah, the brake pedal is the adequate piece of equipment to use that right there.
Caution at lap 97. We're almost halfway. That's the 5th one of the day. I think at lap 98. Field slows down up at the front. And Jeff Berry from Norwich, Connecticut. Steve May wrenches that Oldsmobile, and that'll be the 5th yellow. Now he's got plenty of time to bring it around. Going to lose a lap here. Let's have another look at it. See what happened, buddy.
Well, he just spun the car coming off the corner there. This is very easy to spin there. I'm going to show you the driving jobs right here.
Ed Faree.
Oh, wow.
Hang on, Ed.
I tell you, that scared me a little bit when I seen him let the cars back down the racetrack a little bit, because I tell you, you better hold your position. Right here, he let off the brake, and it come back about a half a lane.
Buddy, the key in one of those wrecks, you know yourself, is let the other guy do the dodging.
Yeah, exactly.
Still and let the other people decide which side they're going on.
Pit stops are the order of the day. We're halfway through the Goodwrench 200. The Tony Uri-led crew goes to work on Dale Earnhardt's car.
Throw a little bit of ammonia on that windshield, get it cleaned off real good.
Clean out the sinuses. There's Mark Martin's crew. There's the roof cam up on top. Have a look at that. Davey Allison getting service. Now Mark Martin pulls away into pit road traffic.
This It's a little trickier than it looks like. You just turn out of the pits and you stick that right front out there in that fast lane, and it's not easy to get in and out of those pits at times.
It's like merging into the expressway from a standing stop.
Just about the time we say that we had 3 of them trying to knock each other completely off pit road going out of the pit. So
I'll tell you what, we're under caution. Why don't we take this break? From the North Carolina Motor Speedway, we are halfway. Tommy Houston leading this race, and here's Jeff Gordon's outlook on the 1992 season.
The team has got a lot of new things. Our horsepower is better, our team's better, our cars are better. We just hired Ray Evernham, and you know, like he's a chassis specialist, so we're really excited. We're running good here today, and I think just the whole year is just really, I'm looking forward to it a lot more than I have any other year.
TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Goodwrench 200 is brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. They have just waved the green flag once again, and Shauna Pearson's out front, and look at them scatter in turn 3. Yellow flag.
the car running about 3rd position. It's hard to see there. The 34 car.
Todd Bodine.
Turned sideways. They got together in the middle 3 and 4, and then it just stacked everybody up.
It's Mike Wallace, the Daly's first aid car. Bit of debris up on the track there as well. Todd Bodine celebrated his 28th birthday Thursday. Didn't get a present here. Let's have a look at it.
There they go down in the 3rd turn. Bodine tapped in the back of Davey.
That's Tracy Leslie.
Yeah, another Tracy Leslie up there, and they got the stacking up. The car comes up, the red car right in the center is fixing to get tagged.
Watch the one car. Through. Watch the one car. Jeff Gordon, the white car.
Woo, good move.
Sneaking by. Now that was behind the initial incident. Now here's Shauna in 21.
You know, 34 hadn't even entered the picture yet. He was behind all this.
I would have thought he was in front. When I first saw him, he was first off sideways.
There you go. Mark Martin into Mike Wallace. That's where it started.
Davey hit him.
Where's Toddley?
I tell you, look at
way up high.
Jeff Gordon did some feature driving.
Yes, he did.
Through there.
Davey Allison getting a little time with the left rear tire. Davey's been in 73 Busch Grand National races. Hasn't won yet. That's a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, because he runs strong and most of them he's in.
That's the only thing he hadn't won.
Lately, I'm telling you, he's been
right. Davey's in this race. Clifford, too, in the number 9 car. Now, there's Todd Bodine. His biscuit's got a little dent in it up there on the crown.
I'd have bet $1 million you wouldn't let that pass.
Thank you. You know me. He's got 2 top 10 finishes here at Rockingham in 2 starts. Finished 4th here in this race last year. Tough day today. Glenn?
This is Red Farmer, the crew chief on Davey Allison's car. The the caution flag before this, they changed right side tires. They used this caution flag period to change the left side tires. He's got 4 fresh tires on. He thinks he's got something for him, Red.
Davey's talking.
Okay, he's talking to Davey right now, trying to get things in. I say you got 4 fresh tires now. You think you got something for him?
Yeah, I think so. We've changed the right side. We want to get some left ones back on. The lefts look like they weren't almost as bad as the right sides are. So we want to try to put some left. We go the rest of the way on left now. We'll probably change the rights maybe one more time. With maybe 40 laps to go, we'll be in good shape.
Well, how does Davey say the car feels?
Car feels great. It's handling good. We've only the 2nd time we've run this Ford engine. It's the same motor we ran at Daytona. We're a little bit shy on horsepower. We didn't pull quite the lowest gears we really wanted to, but the main thing we're doing is being conservative and try to finish and get some lap times on these engines so we can find out how to make them faster.
Okay, keep an eye on Davey Allison. He's got 4 fresh tires. He might be a force in this race before it's over, guys.
Well, we're talking about a force in racing. We were just talking to one, Red Farmer. I'm telling you, he's been racing forever, and he still races every Friday and Saturday night.
For years and years, he was the Alabama gang. Back when the Allisons, Donnie and Bobby, still lived in South Florida.
Did you see him hold that one half a finger up telling you, pointing about what was going on? Used to at Birmingham, that when they'd give 1 lap to go, he'd hold that finger out the window, and I'd be behind him, and he'd take off. He said, I meant a half a lap to green.
Yeah.
But he's a racer, I'll tell you.
Looking out the back of the pace car as they sort out positions here, and we're going to go back to racing in a minute. Red Farmer led the Alabama gang. There's Elmo Langley. Got his own in-car camera.
And he's cheating. He's got the air conditioner on today. He's taking it easy in there.
easy ride compared to this 64 car he fielded for years and years. Pace car is in. The field rumbles by. And we'll go back to racing with Tommy Houston in the lead. Jeff Burton, number 8, in second, and brother Ward Burton in third. A little bit of the Virginia gang right there. Virginia Raiders. Set to steal some of this Carolina cash. Okay, let's have at it. Tommy Houston starting his 301st Busch race. Everyone in the series since the era began. And he'll take the lead off turn 2.
Watch out, Jeff. See that car right up under Jeff Gordon. He's got to watch that. He slows down on him just a little bit. He'll get hung out to dry if he does that another time.
Ricky Craven and Tom Peck, you saw there moving underneath Shauna Robinson. Houston in the lead. That's got to feel good for Tommy and Martha, Scott Houston, for that whole team. They had a tough start at Daytona. They had a tough day at Hickory. Didn't make the field on his home racetrack. Had to use a provisional spot. We'll go back there in April. TNN will be there on the 18th to bring you that race. Trouble in 2. 2 cars, and there's Jeff Berry again and Richard Lassiter are the 2 cars involved. Back to the flag, and Bobby Labonte gets a lap back. Heads up maneuver by the defending Busch Series champ. There's Lassiter's Pontiac.
Yeah, that whole back end, you know, just yellow tape. He had to fix it after he crashed in practice, so all he's done is messed up a little bit of tape there.
We kidded around with him in the garage here. He said, now there's a 100 paint job. From 100 feet away at 100 miles an hour, looks like any other car there. Beautiful. A little bit of duct tape there. Gonna have a little more after this.
See that car come down?
That's Berry. The 22 car came down on Lassiter.
Yeah.
And away he goes. Here's Ed Ferrees going to dodge another one in that 49 car. And Tracy Leslie.
Leslie really got through there just before the hole closed up.
Ed Ferree has led a charmed life today. Watch for that orange and white car when it comes in the high side of the picture.
Yeah, there are sideways. The only place to go is outside right now. The whole bottom's
the wall just a little bit right there. Yeah.
And Davey does a good job getting by on the bottom. Because he had to completely change direction to get past that. There's Kenny Wallace, Joe Nemechek.
Mike, you know, we've had 7 caution flags today, and 5 of them have been off turn 2 right there on the back straightaway.
Look at this shot.
Look how wide that racetrack looks, buddy. When you're in the race car, it looks like it's at least 15 foot wide.
Looks like a Band-Aid down the back straightaway.
And you see how full those backstretch stands are, and now you've seen why.
I'll tell you, Ferree, he hit the wall pretty hard over there. He'll have to keep a good eye on that right rear corner.
110 laps are complete here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. No, he's out of the race. Chuck Bounds had a tough start to this season, but
well, bigger and better than ever, really. I think, you know, we've got some new racetracks on the schedule with some more super speedway races, but we've still got a lot of exciting short tracks as well, and the competition each year just seems to escalate a little bit, and you know, I don't see any difference why 92 shouldn't be a season with a lot of different winners, a lot of different pole winners, just like the last few years have been.
they've just dropped the green flag once again. Tommy Houston up front. And on the last lap of caution, Mark Martin made a pit stop, so he's way out the back of the field. And also Kenny Wallace came in for a stop and got lapped coming out of the pits. They took a long time under the hood, and also looked like they were checking the alignment on that car.
Mike, it looked like he must have got bumped because they were checking the toe pattern on the car, stringing the side, so it really cost him a lap.
Tommy Houston going to get roughed up a little bit here. 3 wide. That's Jeff Burton on the bottom.
Something's got to give right here, folks.
Morgan Shepherd in the middle. And Jeff Burton will pop out with the lead.
Neil's fun to call a race with. He knows exactly what I'm thinking. He hollers, and I'm thinking the same thing. I see people going in there 3 wide. You can't make it.
You can try it all day long, but you'll be on that fence down there.
Morgan Shepherd in the middle. He is 1 lap down. Tommy Houston comes up in 3rd, and Ward Burton is right there, and so is Jeff Gordon in that white Ford. And it's the Busch guys. Where'd the Cuppers go?
The Busch guys are doing Busch racing right now. That's right. Running good. They got the Busch Winston Cup guys shoved back a little bit.
Presley's in 5th. Earnhardt is the first Winston Cup driver. He's 6th. Then Ricky Craven back in 7th. Tom Peck in 8th. Davey Allison is 9th. Here's Davey working Tom Peck. That's for 8th place. Tracy Leslie right there with him.
Neil, I noticed that Mark Martin come in the last lap. Can he go the rest of the way?
I think that's the reason they did it, just to make sure they could, buddy. The Fords, even with the V6, use a little bit more fuel, so I'm sure they wanted that caution idea just to get it in there where they don't have to worry about running out right at the end.
Of course, that hasn't been a problem with the many cautions we've had today.
But if this race sorts out, they may not really know how far they can go.
They hadn't had a real good gauge all day long, because every time, what's a good gauge is about a 50 or 60 lap run, and reevaluate and see what you're using on a given day, and they haven't had that much green today.
Longest green flag stretch we've had was between the first and second cautions, or actually up to the first caution, 22 laps. We have not run 22 consecutive green laps since. 118 on the board. 80 laps to go.
This group right here, Mike, has been running side by side for the last 10 or 15 laps. And, well, here we go.
Here we go.
I wasn't going to say it, but
Richie Burgess and Mike Wallace.
Now, Mike tapped him in the back and followed him up the racetrack.
Did he, or did Burgess come down just a little bit? Thought he cleared him down.
He
I'm
tapped
not
him
sure.
in the back, and it turned him, and he went right with him. I mean, it was like they were tied together going up the racetrack.
the last couple of laps, I've been seeing they've been getting a little bit loose. They've been running a little harder, and cars getting away from them a little bit. When we're talking about it, you can almost see something was going to happen.
Well, let's see if we can figure out what caused it. Here's a look. Watch the front two cars.
Now, somebody has to give a little bit.
Yeah, when both cars try to get under that little white line, that two line, get in between those two lines, I promise you it's not wide enough for both of them, and you're going to pay the price. You're going right down here in the bottom and hit straight to the wall.
Whoever's in that red car there, you talk about dodging a bullet. Now, he did dodge a bullet.
I was just ahead of Kenny Wallace's car.
Look at Nemechek. Bang.
Center punched him right there.
If you're going to hit somebody, that's the way to hit him. At 2 miles an hour.
Boy, it's been a rough day for Mike Wallace. He's been in 2 spins and been black twice going out of the pits.
Here's Richie Burgess out of Dover Plains, New York. That's about 10 miles from Lime Rock. He chose to go circle tracking instead of the...
I can't pass it up, Mike.
I
don't need first aid.
Yeah, I think he is. Jim Bound coming out of the pits.
That's his sponsor, folks.
Yeah. There's Rich Burgess.
I'll tell you something, on this restart, we've got the 59 car, Presley, who made those laps up, made them up. He was 3 laps down early, 3 laps down early, made all that back, and now he's in about 4th or 5th place. He's got a chance to move up there and take the lead.
You want to know where the Cup guys are? They're sitting right there again. There's Earnhardt in about 6th spot right now.
Jeff Burton on the point. His brother is in 2nd place, Ward, who had that fine 3rd place run at Daytona. Last year at Charlotte, led most of the laps, ran out of gas in the closing minutes of the race there. Steve?
Well, in the number 8 pits, Kim Burton, Jeff's wife, is doing the timing. It's going, boy, that's a lovely sight when he comes by in the lead in that 8 car, isn't it?
It sure is. There's nothing better.
Now, what are you communicating to the crew? Explain your job a little bit to the folks at home.
Well, I'm in charge of taking the times for every lap and keeping up with when we stop for fuel and tires and keeping up with the fuel mileage.
Fuel mileage pretty hard to figure here. You haven't had a long green run.
You can figure it on every stop. Every time we get gas, we figure it. So we pretty much know what we have now.
Good luck to y'all.
Thank you very much.
Glenn Jarrett?
Well, you talk about a 180-degree turnaround in fortunes. Now, the last time I was here, these were not happy guys. Big smile on Ricky Pearson's face right now. Rick, things have turned around. You made up a lot of time. He looks to be going real well out there.
Well, he is. He's doing a real good job right now. You know, when this thing first started, it looked like we was in trouble, but he's doesn't run hard, and doing a good job. These guys in the pit crew is really doing a good job trying to get him in and out of the pits and, you know, make 2 laps up.
Well, you've had some timely caution flags to enable you to make up almost 3 laps. You think he's going to ask for overtime today?
Well, I think he's already doing that. Yeah, overtime, but we'll get whatever he needs.
Okay, a lot more smiles than number 59-51 there were earlier on.
Also on pit road, they're going underneath the hood of the Kenny Wallace car as you look at Robert Presley and the rest of this field come around, and be a lap or 2 of caution before we get back to green once again. TNN is going to bring you more Busch Series racing than all other networks combined this year. 18 races, beginning with today's Goodwrench 200. We'll be at Richmond next week, and then at Martinsville, and then on through the season we'll be back at Hickory and Gainesville, Georgia, and all across the Busch Grand National Circuit. And we'll be back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway after these messages and a word from Jimmy Hensley about 92.
92 so far hadn't been real good. You know, we wrecked at Daytona, broke a bone in my foot, broke a couple of ribs, and didn't go to Hickory. You know, fortunately the rain kind of saved me there, and now we're here at Rockingham. Hopefully we can get back with any car, and it feels pretty good, hurting a little bit, but hopefully things will get better in 92, maybe get a sponsor. So.
TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Goodwrench 200 is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. A lap ago, we went back to green, and the action has been right there. Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon have been going at it, passing cars right, left, center, up the middle, you name it, any place. But the story's been Robert Presley. Presley went flying, passing on the outside all the way up to second spot.
Mike, and he did it the hard way. He passed those other cars on the outside, and now he's closing in on the leaders. That thing of his has really been flying all day long.
But here's the battle. Jeff Gordon trying to hold the bottom and give him a little bit of running room against Earnhardt, who's not going to give him a thing. Here's your Napa race running order. That'll change just a bit here after this caution flag, and how they're running right now, but give you a good look on relatively where your favorite driver's running. There's Davey Allison right up there in the thick of it, but he's going to get overhauled by Tom Peck. Lead gap 1.5 seconds. Jeff Burton back to Robert Presley. Now Davey underneath Peck.
Can you imagine if he had that 50 horsepower he's down, the way he's pulling up on those cars off the corner?
Trouble in 4. One car is spun to the bottom of the racetrack. And he'll get away. Caution is out, however.
Looked like he might have had a little help too. You see the left front fender there bent in around that tire. Got a replay on that. I didn't see it happen.
Clifford Allison looked like he went all by himself, buddy. We're back under caution once again. Make this the 9th caution of the day at lap 132. Clifford Allison just kind of went by himself there toward the back of the pack, and Bobby's down in the pit helping out. We talked a bit ago about the Alabama gang. Red Farmer, who of course won so many short track races, then went to the super speedways. Then the Allisons moved from the Miami, Hollywood, Florida area up to Hueytown and extended that string. And back about what, about 1982 or so, brought a young fellow named Neil Bonnet from the short tracks to Winston Cup racing to sub for Bobby, who'd been hurt up at Elko, Minnesota.
Yeah, I was driving Bobby's short track cars, and Bobby was injured really, really bad, and I drove his cars for a while. Really got my foot in the door in Winston Cup racing, and I certainly went the line.
Well, there's more to this story. We'll tell you in a bit. Here's Steve.
Jeff Burton is in the pits. The crew is sitting around as if they weren't going to pit. All of a sudden, they made a snap decision to do so. Taking tires on the right-hand side, fuel, of course. And he's away with a wonderful, well, just an okay stop. His wife Kim is standing beside me going, just okay.
And a lot of smoke from the back of that car.
Brakes locked up on his car as he's leaving. No. The right front brake, it just spit it out. That tire was sliding. It had a lug nut hung in it, Mike, like you were saying. And as it rolled along, it spit the lug nut on out. It got hung between the brake caliper.
Well, hopefully no permanent damage.
What that can do is break the hat on that deal, and when you go down in the corner, the brakes explode on it. So he's got to be real careful.
Steve?
sure exactly what happened to the Burton car. You may be right about the lug nut. I'm not sure there's any idea of what happened. Nah, they're just disappointed down here. Obviously, they had a good chance of winning this thing.
Well, and if there's a lug nut hung, did they get 5 of them on, and will they have to come back in and have a look?
Mike, usually it's one of the lug nuts that comes off as they take them off. But the car slid the right front for about 200 yards down pit road and probably flat spotted. They'll have to get it off, put a new one back on.
He's coming in now.
Jeff Burton married early February. Here's Steve.
Well, you guys apparently are right. They're going to work on that right front. So far, they're not checking them. Now they're going under the hood, so it may be a problem with the brake if they can get out from underneath the bonnet. Neil Bonnet.
Yeah, you know, they got to look in there. What they're concerned, I'm sure, is the caliper in the head, like Buddy was talking about. The brake assembly is what hangs that lug nut, and when it does, it can rip it loose. And as Buddy said, you go down that corner and mash the brake, and there's no pedal there, you're going for a ride.
NASCAR official there to make sure that
he's telling them they hadn't fixed it to his satisfaction, so they're going to make it work on it some more. They're going to pull that wheel off and look at it now.
Exactly. They got to change that tire. It slid it a long ways. I'm sure it's flat spotted. No?
He's turning the head by hand. He's turning the rotor to make sure it still turns, and it does. But it might have torn something up inside there also.
Nice shot there from our pit cameras. And uh-oh, here comes the field. I'm afraid he's going to lose a lap.
We're fixing to see these boys in the yellow and black talk to the guy in the little red suit there. They were wanting to go before that caution car got there.
Jeff Burton was leading this race. Now he's going to go a lap down. Here's Mark Martin on pit road.
That looks familiar, Neil. Look at that windshield on that car.
Yeah, we'll get a little
He might be coming in just to have it cleaned.
Just a little bit of ammonia right here and clean her off again.
Going to check the right front on Mark Martin's car.
That was a call probably made by that one specific guy on the right front. He probably went over the wall and said, hey, guys, I'm not sure I got the right front. There wasn't an inspector there. It's very seldom you see a guy say, hey, I might have messed up. And they brought him back in for safety. He just hit those 5 lug nuts again so he'd know what he had.
All right, Steve Evans.
I'm with crew chief of the 8-car, Gil Martin. Gil, maybe you can tell us exactly what was going on there. We couldn't see everything.
Well, it appears that it broke a wheel stud and it got hung up in the wheel. The wheel stud broke off, but we've got it repaired right now. We just got to get our lap back.
He's in a safe automobile?
Oh, yeah, it's all right.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to go back to green with Joe Nemechek at the front of the field. Look at this restart from midfield. They are 5 wide through the tri-oval. You won't learn that at the Buck Baker School.
And they're going to try to make it through that 3 abreast. This could be exciting.
Yeah, somebody's got to give, as you say.
Won't be for a minute. So Shauna Robinson backing up midfield. Caused some of that traffic jam, not all of it. Now Richard Lassiter, they're going to slipstream him both sides. And Burton's coming back in. Oh, what a heartbreaking day. 4 wide at start finish. They're doing it again.
That was Presley down on the inside. He knows he's got a horse under him. He wants to use it, so he tried it down the apron.
Stop and go penalty for Jeff Burton. It's not your day.
That just adds insult to injury. You had a problem and they'd come back and penalize you like that, but broke the rule going out.
Now here's Mark Martin following Jeff Gordon. Trouble in 3. Richard Lassiter's in the wall. And 2 more cars tangled just ahead of him.
Tommy Houston got hit in the bottom of the racetrack.
And Jeff Berry again. Caution flag. 10th caution of the day. Record is 10. We've tied it.
Maybe it was 110. Are you sure you counting right?
Look at the oil cooler busted on the 22 coming down through here. It's leaving oil all behind it.
Yeah, he's knocked off. Like you say, buddy, he took the oil cooler off the left front of the car. Might as well turn the motor off. He's fixing to burn it up.
I'm reminded of a race at Talladega. There's Lassiter going. Get this replay first. And Tommy Houston.
Oh, Tommy.
Tommy Houston got down to the bottom. Boy, everybody's slipping and sliding everywhere.
The 99 car, Ricky Craven, did quite a job. The blue and white car sneaking through there.
And not sneaking through is contact right here.
Oops. 22, Jeff Berry.
Tommy Houston got the bottom, slid back up. Boy, he punched him right in the left rear.
There's Tommy. And the damage to the Rose's Stores Buick. Have a look underneath the trunk.
What's bad about a deal like that? He took a shot right in the left rear wheel, and all the assembly that holds the rear end of the car could be damaged.
Let's go to Glenn.
Well, they're working furiously on the Houston's car now. The problem is the left rear fender is caved in on the left rear tire. They opened the rear deck lid, took a hammer, and beat it back out off of it. Now, as the car goes down pit road, maybe you can see it, that left rear tire seems to be bent. You see some smoke trailing the car right now. They got some more problems. They're going to have to come back in here.
Well, he went back out to stay on the lead lap, but it looks like he'll be back in again. There's I think that's Jeff Berry's car behind the wall once again. So 10 cautions. We've tied the record. 140 laps complete. Here's the way we're running. Under the caution flag. We'll be back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway after these messages and a word from a fella who's had a great early start to this season, Ward Burton.
There's a lot of young drivers coming up. There's probably 7, 8 of them my age, and we all seem to be running good. Then we got the old veterans that we're trying to keep up with, so it's going to be real interesting. It's going to be a tough year, particularly if I added speedways and short tracks.
We're back, and we're back under green. This is the first lap of green flag racing after the 10th caution of the day, and they're 3 wide off 4 again as Davey Allison goes for the lead. That's Joe Bessie up on the point. Allison will take it away. A lot of smoke out of Richard Lassiter's car up ahead of the leaders as he drops down toward the apron. There's Robert Presley right in the middle of that pack, and Earnhardt's going to get him on the bottom. Presley just did not come flying up to speed. Trouble in 4. Jeff Gordon gets banged around, bounced around. He's okay. He saved it. He has had a busy day. Now watching Presley as he and Earnhardt work their way up through. And there up front, Joe Bessie dueling side by side with Bobby Labonte. Labonte got one of his laps back on the last caution flag, but he is still posted unofficially 4 laps down in the 44 car.
Boy, Davey's really pulling away from us right now. Like Buddy said earlier, he says he's 50 horsepower down, but he's really making a move.
There's Earnhardt and Presley. They're battling Clifford Allison in that red number 9 car. Work their way by. Clifford 1 lap down.
Boy, on a track like this, anytime you're held up just the least little bit, you really pay a price for it. And this traffic is really hurting some of these guys over in the back.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If Presley will just stay behind that 3 car, that's about as good a ride to the front as you can have.
Buddy, we just wondered why Presley didn't make a real strong run a while ago. We just saw in that shot the whole grill area is caved in that car. He must have been involved in that last caution. We didn't see it.
You know, that if he can just stay right behind Earnhardt, though, it won't hurt him nearly as bad as he is out by himself.
Yep.
No, he's going to the high side, though.
Yeah, he'll be right back in behind him in just a second.
Traffic ahead in the form of Joe Bessie and Jim Bound. Glenn?
Well, Robert Presley's troubles do continue, guys. He dropped back on that restart. He got into the back of somebody. He has caved the whole grill of the car in. The camera might be able to pick it up, but they don't think that it messed up the toe end, the driving of the car, but they're a little worried now about the car maybe overheating. He's got some problems.
So does Joe Bessie. He got together as they tried to get under that corner 3 wide, and he and Presley got together, and Bessie has spun to the bottom of the racetrack. Caution. New record, 11. Not the kind of record we hope to set, but at lap 148, we're on the 11th caution.
That's too bad for Joe. He's had a good run. He's been up front all day, and to get caught like that going in the corner, it's just one car come down, the other one went on in and spun him.
Neil, he didn't really do anything wrong.
Yeah, they started in this corner almost three abreast. They narrowed down to 2 lanes. Earnhardt goes under. The 59 car committed to come under there with him, and they just got together.
So Bessie becomes the victim. Tom Peck going underneath.
The one good thing about it, Mikey, I don't think he hit anything really hard down here, and he didn't lose a lap. He kept the car running. 59 car had the left sides down on the flat area of the racetrack.
Bounce back up.
Well, no, anywhere for him to go. It's just one of those deals.
Well, they have black flagged Robert Presley for aggressive driving after a review of that.
What do you think about that, Neil?
I didn't know we were playing dominoes. I thought we were racing. It's hard to say. You come to a track like this, and the guy that's aggressive can move up through the field. You know, you probably got a driver right here that said, man, I've come from 3 laps down. I got a chance to win this race, and it's hard to throttle him back. You know, he's just really making some aggressive moves, and it's hard to criticize him.
Glenn?
Well, as I said, Presley's problems continue now. The NASCAR official is going to hold him for one lap. Evidently, they feel there was some rough driving involved out there. So you can see him working on the car. They're going to be able to repair this damage, but he is going to go another lap down. And the guy's already made up almost 3 laps. There's only 47 laps to go. I'm not sure he's going to have time to be able to do that again. But boy, I tell you, he's had an awfully tough day. He's come from way back to the front of the pack, and now he's got to go back a lap down again. You see the official holding him there. The field is going to pass him by.
Joe Bessie will be at the tail end of the lead lap. He was the victim in all that.
One thing, Mike, we're talking about, not sure if he has enough time or not. I don't know if he's got enough race car, because these cars depend on aerodynamics to hold them down a lot. We saw him pushing a lot behind Earnhardt. When you damage that frontal area, it doesn't hold the front end on the ground as well, and he wasn't as quick and couldn't stay in the bottom as well as he did before he had the accident.
Well, he'll have 46, make it 45 laps. Try to make that back up.
He's got a nice parachute over on the front of it. It's going to slow it down with that big hole in the front.
We have a shot from Mark Martin's in-car. He did some avoidance of that incident. Presley will go back out. Here's what Mark Martin saw behind Kenny Wallace.
He got a little tap from the rear, or he got on the brakes and broke the rear around a little bit.
Got through without incident. Well, does the punishment fit the crime?
Well, you know, Neil made a comment that he had the left sides all the way on the flat trying to miss him. I really don't know. I'm not going to make a comment. I'm going to run Atlanta, but...
Well, I'm not going to run Atlanta, so... But, you know, what's really crazy about it is you look back and, you know, here's a guy that gets the left sides down, but, you know, what, you know, you don't know if the guy moved him over or whatever. It's just hard to do to call it, because when you're in that race car, you're trying to go to the front.
Okay, we'll be right back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway and the Goodwrench 200 right after these messages. Here's how they're running. Back under green at Rockingham, where Davey Allison has again taken off with the lead. Here's Dale Earnhardt right with him. You see Bobby Labonte, number 44, 3 laps down, and Jeff Burton trying to come back up through. He is a lap down after that lug nut wheel stud problem and the resultant time on pit road. Davey Allison, rather, the 8th different leader in this race. Now it's Ian Earnhardt up front. Still a lot of good cars in the lead lap. Fort Burton, Tom Peck, Tracy Leslie, Kenny Wallace.
There's Grissom in the 31 car. He's moved up to 6. He's had a good run today.
Haven't seen him much after he started out back in 22nd spot. But he's had a good strong run in the Roddenberry's car. Mark Martin trying to come back up through the pack. He's at the tail end of this crowd along with Jeff Gordon. Ed Ferree has dodged everything today. He's still on the lead lap and running well. So is Butch Miller. And the 7 car of Joe Bessie. Joe Nemechek will be the last car on the lead lap. 14 of them. Mark Martin and Jeff Gordon, they've had close company today. Look from the roof cam.
Martin really seemed to close up on him right in the middle. Of course,
trouble.
Big wreck off, too.
Butch Miller is in it. The 37 car, Richie Burgess, in it once again. And where did it happen? Off turn 2. Crisis corner. Tommy Houston's there. And looks like they got Ed Ferree that time. There's Todd Bodine slipping through.
There's a problem for the leaders. You've got to drive through all that trash on the racetrack.
Steve?
You know, a lot of times a crew chief wants a yellow. When this yellow came out, I saw Red Farmer here for Davey Allison go, darn, you want to go race.
No, we want to run the green flag the rest of the way. We got a good set of tires. The car is handling good. We can run the rest of the way without a pit stop. We'd like to have it stay green if we could.
Thanks, Red.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Well, they did get a piece of Ed Ferree that time. I guess his that cat ran out of lives. Got squashed there on the backstretch. A piece of Ed's car. Let's have another look at this one.
like
That's
looked
it.
like Paris was in on the start of that, and Houston just come along and got into the middle of it.
That's Richie Burgess, 37, and Butch Miller, 75.
Butch Miller, he was just a victim of the back straightaway. That's a very narrow racetrack back here.
There's Shauna snuck through there right at the tail end of it. Neil?
Yeah, they're just stacked up. They've got tied up coming up off two. And everybody's trying to knock the wall down off two over there, climbing up on top of it. And I mean, the track's plugged completely up right here. Everybody's going to have to try to go the inside. But once they tangle in that bottom, coming up off two, they're going to that outside wall. Just stacked up 3 wide. I'm telling you, Tommy Houston was trying to climb the fence like the other cars have been. They better go check that wall after this race is over before we turn them loose tomorrow.
I think so. Have one more look at it here from off the high camera at turn number 3. It's already pretty well started here.
Yep, they're already hung up together.
Look how high this car gets in the air here.
And I'm telling you, that hurts. It's a pretty abrupt stop when that thing goes straight in like that.
Now you see the 21 car, the white car, come through here, make a real nifty move. Because Shauna's right in the middle of that dust cloud. That's Joe Nemechek. Well, here comes Shauna coming right through the smoke and doing a great job of dodging them.
Yep.
Great job there. I think Todd Bodine caught the end of the pit wall up there as well. Glenn?
This is Tony Urey, crew chief on Dale Earnhardt's car. First of all, Tony, Dale just now when he came by under the caution pulled the car way down on the inside of the racetrack. It looked like he wanted you guys to check something over. What are you looking for?
Yeah, he said he run through a lot of debris. He wanted to check the left side tires. The spotter's checking the right side tires, just make sure they're okay.
All right. On that last restart, it looked like Davey Allison was able to get away a little bit. Is Dale going to be able to do anything with him?
Well, we probably could if we didn't have to race that 44 car. The 44 car is getting him behind on the starts to get by him, and after we get by him, we sling a run with him.
How does he say the car feels?
He said the car's perfect.
Okay, Earnhardt's just looking for a little clear racing room then.
Tony Urey, crew chief for Earnhardt. There's Davey Allison on the low side, and here is Bobby Labonte. Was involved in the big crash at Daytona in the Goodies 300 2 weeks ago, and has come back here, soldiered through adversity, and come along to run 4 laps down right now in 23rd position.
We just heard Tony Urey say that Earnhardt was worried about his left side tires. He just pulled up beside Elmo Langley on the pace car and wiggled around. Elmo moved over and either gave him the okay or the problem with the tire. You get a lot of help out there without having to come into pits for questions like that.
Looks like I thought Davey Allison, those bright colors of Mike Wallace going to pit road. 161 laps are down at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. Hey, where'd you get that banner? Somebody take a count back in the truck.
Missing in action.
We'll be back with the finish for the Goodwrench 200 right after this word.
I drive a race.
We're watching NASCAR's pace car driver and once a fine racer himself, Elmo Langley, racer, car owner, now NASCAR official, as he faces Davey Allison and the rest of this field. The big Tommy Houston. Look at what's left of that car.
Look where the right front wheel's sitting. That's back at the dash.
Buddy, you know what? That's not sheet metal tore up out there. It's gone, but that was also just real 1 3/4 roll bars with big frame rails out there. It compacted the whole car in that shot.
Not what you call cosmetic damage. Fortunately, Tommy's okay. Davey Allison's at the head of this pack. He's the center spread feature in Racing for Kids magazine this month. And in the interview with Davey, they got little things like what's your favorite food and your favorite track and stuff. And one, it says, what drives him crazy? Trying to win a Grand National race. What it says. 36 cars started, 27 remain. But the key here is that Davey has driven 74 Busch Grand National races. And among all the Winston Cup drivers that dabble in this division, that's the longest losing streak of anybody. He is 0 for 73, trying to turn that around today.
I tell you, we see old Red Farmer down there in Davey's pits, and it was back in 1975. He flipped 15 times down the back straightaway, and we went to see him in the hospital the next day, and he said, we asked him how he felt. He said, you know, I feel like I've been in a gang fight. My gang didn't show up. And nothing has ever stopped Red Farmer.
No.
Every time I see him, he said, you know, I'm thinking about slowing down. I'm just going to run 2 times a week this year. He never quits. He just keeps plugging away at him.
Now, to finish that Alabama gang story, we got as far as Neil Bonnet coming along in '82, subbing for Bobby Allison, and then going on to win races for the Woods brothers and elsewhere. Now we got to skip a generation. Here's Davey Allison, who's now the leader of the Alabama gang.
Well, when we were at the shop, I remember working for Bobby. Davy'd come by at night, and he'd be in there with a broom, pushing around, cleaning up all the junk and playing around with the racing stuff a little at a time. And, you know, it's hard for me to conceive the fact that there he was just watching everything, and now, I mean, he's really taking charge and winning a lot of races.
He's leading this race. Clifford Allison's in this race. Bobby's behind pit wall. Hut Strickland, Davy's cousin-in-law, is a Winston Cupper. And now there's another half a generation coming along pretty quick here.
Yeah, it makes me wonder who's watching Hueytown for us. We're all gone.
Well, there's a young fella named Bonnet that's tearing up the tracks down there.
My son started running. He's won a championship Birmingham, Montgomery last couple of years. He's wanting to venture out and race a little bit. I'm going to have to turn him loose a little, I guess.
Watch for David. He's coming.
Neil, I know you made a lot of money in your racing career, but that's a good way to lose it all right there.
We'll see. Glenn?
Well, here's a guy that our country music fans will certainly recognize, T. Graham Brown. T, you've become a heck of a race fan, particularly a Dale Earnhardt fan.
Yeah, man, since I've become involved in it, I'm just getting more and more rabid about it, I think. I feel real lucky to be able to be here today and hang out with these guys. They're great fun. We did a show for them last night and had a big time, and to get to be here at the races is always fun.
Well, the word is that Dale kind of maybe promised this one for you, a little victory today.
Well, he told me. You know, I told him before the race I never have seen him win one when I was here, so he told me he was going to win one for me. We'll see. It looks good.
Becoming the kind of fan that you have now, do you have any desire at all to maybe want to get in one of these things someday?
Oh, I'd love to, man. I wouldn't want to mess anybody up, but I've got the nerve to do it. And anytime anybody would offer me, Dale has offered to let me drive his on test days, you know, just to have some fun. So sure, I'd love to try it.
Okay, back upstairs to Mike Joy.
Make a great video, wouldn't it? There's a look at the Davey Allison pit as they watch their driver in the lead and getting set to go racing.
Did you see his fingers crossed there? He really wants that thing to win.
I'll tell you what, Red would cross his, but he stuck it in an airboat about 30 years ago and he ain't got it left.
We're ready to go back to green. Davey Allison up front. That's Jeff Burton outside trying to get his lap back. View from the pace car as it pulls in on the back straightaway. Dale Earnhardt is second. Ward Burton is third, right where he was positioned at the end of the Goodies 300. Tom Peck has had a great drive today in that number 19 car. Tom is in fourth spot in the 11 Racing Machine. And in fifth, Tracy Leslie, having a good ride for the Detroit Gasket books today in number 72, the Ron Parker car. 64 laps of caution ties the record. Here we go. 5, 6 cars wide. Didn't think you could do that.
Did any of them go down pit road?
I didn't think you could park them 6 cars wide out there. The view from Mark Martin's car.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see the black flag come out here. I see him trying to decide whether they're going to let anybody have it or not. That's a pretty ragged start there.
Which 12 cars do you give it to?
Yeah, I think that's the problem. They couldn't decide who deserves it.
Allison in front. Earnhardt is there. Ward Burton.
I think they all promised they wouldn't do it again if they just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, if you just won't black flag me this time, I'll never do it again, right? There's Tracy Leslie. He got a good jump.
You know, when they were talking in Allison's pit wall ago, they said they wanted to go green. They think the longer they run, the better their car gets. And Davy's pulling away a little bit. It's going to be see if these other guys can reel him in.
Ward Burton got hung behind a couple of lap cars. He has dropped to fifth. Tracy Leslie moves up into third, and Kenny Wallace to fourth.
We have trouble.
A lot of smoke and a save. Tracy Leslie hung onto that race car. Hard to believe.
I may have a new hero.
He was driving. I'm
Boy, I do. He saved it. 72 car. Unreal bit of racing.
44 car in the middle right there, I believe, has a right front flat.
Bobby Labonte coming past.
Yeah, he's on the flat tires. They're just going to put the caution out because we almost wrecked real good that time. It was.
I think they scared everybody enough to wave the caution.
That was a wreck that just they didn't finish.
Yeah.
It looked like Labonte's right front's flat. I'm not so sure he didn't get up into someone with that right front and cut it down.
I thought we were going to lose about 8 cars there. We'll be back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway. 170 laps complete, 27 to go. Look, they're all on their feet at the caution flag. That's the way they're running. We'll be right back. We are back under green, and this restart looked just like the last one. Look at them 3 wide as they sweep past and down into the corner. Around the Roddenberry's car is Steve Grissom. But the man who's earned my respect is Ward Burton. He got up underneath Dale Earnhardt, worked his way on by, and he's chomping at the back bumper of Davey Allison.
Tell you what, this kid's something else. What a driver he is. He's going under Davey right now.
This is going to right here. This move right here, Earnhardt has fell back a little bit. This is going to hang Davey on the outside.
Does that look like
Burton
cruising
right to the lead there?
Underneath Davey Allison, and Ward Burton has the lead. 30 years old from South Boston, Virginia. Last year at Charlotte. Had the race in the bag. His first Grand National win, ran out of gas. Decision made on pit road that cost him. Looking for his first series checkered flag today.
Look at that crew. They're as happy as they won the race.
Look at that crew.
Uh-oh.
No longer do they have the fastest car. Jeff Burton, Lawrence brother, was right up there on the restart, but he's fallen way back to the tail end of the field.
Boy, he's pulling away from him now.
And here comes Robert Presley up on Earnhardt. Top of your screen. This will be for third place. And look at that pack with him. Tracy Leslie, Mark Martin, Kenny Wallace. Leslie on the bottom. He's run strong here these last 20, 30 laps.
Tracy said, I can run the flat. I'm not worried about the bank. I know I can get around here.
He's been down there before.
Mark Martin drafting Tracy Leslie.
What a shot.
3 wide. There you see it.
And there you don't. Welcome.
Oh, I was listening for the thud.
We're not through yet. It might thud yet.
So Mark Martin moves up 2 notches. Now you're watching Leslie on the inside in red up against Robert Presley. That's how it looks from the grandstand. And Kenny Wallace takes him 3 wide.
Now that was a power move there.
You bet. Grissom's got a bit of it. Clifford Allison's up there, though he's not on the lead lap. He's 1 down.
With Mark Martin around Earnhardt on the outside.
That'll take the winds out of your sail, too.
That's for third place right there. Mark's really making a run at the leaders. He's got a big gap between second place, but he's closing in a hurry.
Now keep in mind that Presley is 1 lap down, 59 car. He's certainly a factor in this pack racing, but not for the win at the moment.
I got to tell you, the fastest car out there right now is our camera car, the number 60 car, Mark Martin. He is flying around the racetrack. Car's handling perfect. Looks like the power is just right.
But does he have enough time? 16 laps to get to the front.
They're going to have to be careful. We got 2 Fords running second, third. They're going to not be able to complain about that horsepower when they keep this up.
Well, I think Mark will definitely catch Davey, but I don't believe he's going to catch Mr. Burton.
There's the separation. The leader way up front in second place, just ahead of Mark Martin. Ooh, Jeff Gordon. He didn't just thread the needle, he opened up a big hole in it and drove it through. God.
Things like that happened with 16 laps to go.
Jeff Gordon, the pole sitter in the number 1 car, the Bill Davis Baby Ruth Ford. Tom Peck there in the 19. Let's give Tom a call because he's had a very strong race here today.
Presley turning down pit road.
Peck is in 10th place. Here's Presley. Unscheduled stop, 50-mile-an-hour speed limit down pit road. Meanwhile, Ward Burton just keeps putting laps on the board.
And Mark Martin just keeps winding Davey. He's really closing up in a hurry now.
13 to go. 1.5 seconds. Burton's lead. Mark Martin works around one of the lap cars. That's Barry Boston. Now draws in on Davey Allison.
Mike, you know, when we talked to Burton this morning, I just had a feeling he might win this thing. You know, he was very confident. He was proud of his car and everything.
He is a comer. He is one of the stars of this sport in the years to come. Finished third at Daytona in the Goodies 300 and finished third at Dover last September. Here are the two guys that he's got to hold off, Davey Allison and Mark Martin in the Winn-Dixie car.
Best thing that could ever happen for Burton. He's sitting out front. These two guys are fixing to start battling. When they start this, he'll have a little bit easier run of it out front.
Two Fords, second and third. Fords have only won twice in Busch Grand National competition here. David Pearson in '82 and Mark Martin in the Bill Davis car in '88.
Neil, I said he'd catch him. I didn't say he'd pass him.
That's a lot harder to do at times, isn't it?
Yeah, I guarantee you.
What happens, just like Davey working the bottom of the racetrack, if you're going to pass him, he's just about going to make you have to go outside like any driver would. And he's going to give you that outside lane. It's just not real easy to do at times.
Was Butch Miller doing the move over as these two cars went by. Gives us 12 cars on the lead lap with 10 to go. Burton up front, Allison second, Mark Martin third, Earnhardt is fourth, Kenny Wallace is in the fifth spot, Tracy Leslie is sixth, Steve Grissom is seventh, Jeff Gordon, the pole sitter, is eighth. Ninth, Ricky Craven, the Busch North champion. 10th is Tom Peck. Back in 11th, Joe Betsy, and 12th, Joe Nemechek. 12 cars on the lead lap. We're not showing you Ward Burton because he's checked out. He's gone. Look at him. Can't even find him.
Just barely got him in the shot there. That's good indication how far ahead he is right now.
2.3 seconds is his lead. 8 to go. Mark Martin, who might have a car fast enough to catch him, but not fast enough to pass Davey Allison.
About the only thing he can do right, not the only thing, but one thing's your own, Davey. Get up behind him and try to get Davey's car loose enough that he'll slide up.
And fill that mirror with every little pass. He'll make a move to the right, to the left, and try to draw his attention so he'll get out of the groove just a little bit.
Does that bother you, somebody fill up your mirror like that?
Yeah, I usually just turn my mirror sideways so they know I'm not watching anymore.
And that's a little psychology in itself.
You got it.
There's Mark looking at the inside. Davey's going to protect that inside lane. Mark's going to swing it up high. It gets him down low, and Mark goes to the outside of it.
Trouble in two.
Clifford Allison.
Look here, come to the line. Could be a position.
Whoa, hard to tell.
I don't know.
No caution. Caution has not waved for Clifford Allison in the backstretch.
Now he's back underway again.
He's pulled away, and we stay under green, and here they go for second spot.
That's a tough way to do it on the top there. Mark's car is really working good. Caught Davey on a lap car, caught him in there, which is, that's racing, as they say.
Pinned him right behind Barry Bostic. Bostic couldn't go any lower.
Nice little pick job there.
That's it, pick and roll. And they're catching Ward Burton 1.7 seconds with 5 laps to go. He may have it.
Yeah, that could be two reasons that's happening. When you're leading the race that well and they're calling lap times off, you look up at the board and you see you got 8 laps to go. You just start kind of backing down and say, I can give them this much, this lap, this much, and take care of your car a little bit. It's, these guys here are really excited about it.
Now, I wonder if maybe the spotter had Ward roll out of the throttle and anticipate a caution as we did up here. 1.56 seconds. Traffic is the reason he's lapped by Joe Nemechek, putting Joe 1 lap down.
I'm going to tell you something. We're going to have a finish at this thing.
Mark's coming on.
I guarantee you.
These two cars side by side behind Ward Burton aren't going to help him. The black car right there, they moved over. Nemechek moved over and gave him that outside lane.
And it's a 10-car length deficit for Mark Martin. Clifford Allison there. And Ward Burton.
He's just pulled all the way away from Davey now.
1 second. Ward Burton in his 54th Busch Grand National race, looking to taste victory for the first time.
I don't know how much horsepower that Ford's got, but I promise you Mark Martin used to every bit of it. He's trying to pull in on him now.
Waltney's Oldsmobile up front with 2 laps to go.
2 to go.
That's the Alan Dillard car. Rick Bass drove that car for years and years.
Yeah.
Before he moved up to Winston Cup. This should be the white flag. Mark Martin's view as they come down the front straightaway the next to last time. White flag for Ward Burton.
He's just got to run a good clean lap here and don't get tied up behind the slow car. And he looks like he might have this thing wrapped up.
Back straightaway past the Barry Bostic car. Mark Martin closing in. Martin will have to deal with that lapped car. And now coming off turn number 4 to the checkered flag, his first career victory, Ward Burton of South Boston, Virginia. Picks up his first win in his 54th Busch Grand National start. And that should put him atop the Busch Series point standings by 5 points ahead of Dale Earnhardt.
Boy, Mike, it's nice to see him win a race. I don't think I've ever seen a driver as dejected as he was at Charlotte when they ran out of fuel.
Nope. You want to talk about a happy fella? I want to see his face when he gets out of this car because he shows his emotions.
We had to talk to him at Charlotte after he fell out, after he ran out of gas. They made the decision to try to run him dry or run to the checker, and they did. Look at Mark Martin, who drove a fine race to finish second. But as Ward said that day, he says there'll be other days.
Yeah,
and this is the one he's been waiting for.
It's pretty hard to say that at times, but it's really rewarding to see him win the race. He's trying to figure out where victory lane's at, but he'll learn it. You got a lot of years ahead of you. You'll figure that place out.
That's right.
As good a talent as he is.
Mark Martin finishes second. Davey Allison third. Dale Earnhardt fourth unofficially. Kenny Wallace in fifth. Tracy Leslie sixth. Steve Grissom in eighth. We'll get you a complete rundown here in a bit. Those are as of a lap ago, and they are unofficial. But Jeff Gordon finished on the lead lap today. So did Ricky Craven, Tom Peck, Joe Bessie. Good run for Joe. 11 cars on the lead lap at the checker. There's the Gwaltney's crew. I started to say Jeff and his wife were married early February, and he didn't make it to the Goodies Invitational breakfast because the night before he sat and waited at the airport for his wife till 3:30 in the morning.
Nice boy.
Yeah.
They've shown a lot of strength with all the Busch races, and just like you said, your day's going to come. If you keep plugging away and plugging away, you're going to win races.
Steve Evans is down in victory lane with what has to be a very happy
Boy,
Ward
this is my favorite kind of victory circle, when a man makes it for the very first time after trying his heart out for years and years and years. And as you said earlier, Mike, Ward Burton is an emotional guy, and I think right now he's letting a few of those pent-out emotions loose. His wife Tabitha is down here, and his little girl, and everybody just can't wait to hear what Ward Burton has to say, and I'm one of them. What a wonderful day. Had we had any more cautions, we were going to be up against Saturday Night Live.
I think so, Steve.
Finally, this thing comes to an end, and what a fitting conclusion, too. As you said, the disappointment at Charlotte when they ran out of gas, all the problems this man has had, but he was confident he could win it, and he just did that. Excuse me, just 1 second, Kevin, if I could. Ward Burton, a fantastic drive.
Come over here.
Well, thank you, I tell you. I'm one of the luckiest fellows alive to have this kind of call and team and sponsor. I tell you.
This may help make up for Charlotte when you ran out of gas, when you almost won that thing you had your heart set on. Now you got it, the first one.
Well, I'm trying to catch my breath here. I'm so excited, but we've worked so hard, and like Charlotte, we've been so close so many times, and we finally got here.
Your wife and your daughter are here. Where are they? Tabitha, great job for the whole family.
Thank you. We're really proud of it. The whole team, everybody did a great job.
He was almost the invisible man out there. He stayed out of all those wrecks.
Yeah, thank goodness. It was a really tough race. There were so many crashes. We just hung in there.
And I should tell Ward that, Ward, you also will leave here with the points lead.
Sir?
You will leave here with the points lead as well.
Well, that's nice. You know, it's early in the season, but this Gwaltney team's goal is to be there at the end, hopefully be up in the points and finish as many races as we can and come to victory lane as many times as we can.
Let's get this man out of the car so he can celebrate with his crew chief, Rick Rand, his wife. Everybody just still stunned a bit by this moment, as I think you can tell upstairs, guys.
Well, he's a slow-talking young Virginia gentleman, but boy, he can turn the wheel in that race car and make it go. He looked pretty choked up there. Neil, his eyes were all full of water, and he looked a lot like Charlotte, but gosh, he's a lot happier. What a great day for Ward Burton. Here's a look at the finish unofficially. We'll be back to Rockingham right after these messages. CNN gives you plenty of both. More Busch coverage this year. than all the other networks combined. And great races like this, the one reason why. Here's Ben Jarrett.
Mark Martin, you did a great job out there. Looks like you just ran out of time there at the end. You were gaining on him.
We had a fast car all day, and, you know, we just got a little bit behind, and then they had all those cautions, and the cautions killed us. They took our chance away. But I want to thank Winn-Dixie for putting me in a Busch Grand National car. It's really a lot of fun to do the thing, and thank that Valvoline team because they got me in and out of pit road, on and off pit road great today, and, you know, their help really made it all come together. It was a great day for us, and we'll win one of these soon.
Do you think that if you hadn't had the trouble with Davey Allison there, you had to race him pretty hard to get by him for second, that might have cost you a shot at Ward Burton?
Hey, Davey had to fight for that spot, man. That's racing. You know, we shouldn't have been so far back. You know, that's if we wanted to win, we needed to be closer to the front. And they just kept having yellows, and we couldn't make up any ground, you know, and we were just stuck and stuck and stuck. And finally, when they threw the green flag, we knew we didn't have much time left.
Well, you know he's going to win a race in this series before this year's over. Steve Evans?
Well, more good news for the Ward Burton team. Rick Wren, crew chief, you are the Miller Genuine Draft crew chief of this race. Congratulations.
Oh, that's an honor. I appreciate it and appreciate all the help that Miller gives for racing, along with all the rest of the other outfits. Appreciate it.
Boy, Ward did a sensational job of getting through all of the incidents, and you guys did a crack-up job in the pits.
Yeah, I tell you what, this boy will drive that race car as hard as anybody you're going to find. He's going to make a super good race car driver. His time's just been coming, and we're getting there.
They'll get your picture taken.
All right. Hey, thank you very much. I want to say hi to all the folks at home. Busch is here.
That's to all of Virginia. Mike?
Boy, what an emotional group. Robert Presley got the Goodies Headache Award, by the way. Had a tough day today. Ward Burton picks up his first Busch Grand National victory. Mark Martin second, Davey Allison third, both in Fords. Dale Earnhardt fourth. Kenny Wallace finished in fifth. The top 11 cars were on the lead lap here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. Tracy Leslie was sixth. Steve Grissom finished up in the 7th spot. Unofficially back in 8th. They've got Jim Bound on the board, but I believe that should be Ricky Craven. Was up there in the 8th spot. Now you're looking for cars that finished a lap or more down. Joe Nemechek, Jim Bound, Morgan Shepherd, and Butch Miller. That's the top 15 as they file out of the North Carolina Motor Speedway today. Also running at the finish, you see Presley, who had trouble here today, and Jeff Burton, who led this race, hung a lug nut in the wheel and ended up back there in 19th place. Ed Ferree dodged almost everything. Mike Wallace, Bobby Labonte, the defending champ, is off to a tough start here in this young season. And the rest of the field. Looking for some fun tomorrow here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. Kyle Petty will start on the pole for the Goodwrench 500 with Bill Elliott alongside, Mark Martin and Brett Bodine in 3rd and 4th. TNN Motorsports live coverage of the Goodwrench 200 has been brought to you by Haviland Formula